Hey everyone, what's going on? Sorry for the delay there. All right, so let's watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Hey Miss Carter, how are you? So I just hit play now at the MGMA logo there. Dennis Hopper. Special makeup effects by Tom Savini. Hey Mega, what's up, buddy? This crazy fucker shooting his gun out of his car. Been a while since I watched this one. What I remember of it, I like it. It's good. Yeah, Megan's great. I love it too, man. I like how it's not just set at the Sawyer's farmhouse again, like the rest of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. Fucking Leatherface jumps up on the back of the truck. Oh, it sounds. Hey, Rosie. Yeah, Bill Moseley and Dennis Hopper. Yeah, the great in this movie. Oh man, that looked great when he like sawed half his head off. Russell, hey, Russell. Hey, Sean. Yeah, I dropped the link up in the chat there earlier. Just scroll up to the top. Oh, looks like quite the hotel party. Oh, you got it? Okay.
Yo, what's up, man? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I saw in the on the screen that you dropped a link, and I was looking at the chat, and I was like, I don't see it. But then I scrolled to the top, and I saw that you had it pinned there.
Yeah, it was up on the top.
But how you doing, man?
All right, how are you?
Pretty good. Where are you at in this movie?
Uh, they're just at the chili cook-off. The time on it.
Well, I'm gonna try to catch up to you. But yeah, I've been seeing that you're doing more watch parties lately on your channel.
Yeah, very good. About 18 minutes into it.
Um, Yeah, I'm just gonna throw on the Blu-ray real quick and catch up to you.
Right on. Yeah, it's quite the opening. I
I
love
gotta
it.
get I gotta go get a light real quick. I'll be right back.
The the weather, it's starting to cool down now. It's more like feeling like fall now here, which is good.
All right. Yeah, did you do the Blob watch party already?
Yeah, I did that last night.
That was
We
last night.
and we watched Pumpkinhead too. I just did a
No
double
shit.
feature.
So you did two movies back to back then.
Yeah.
Now that's something I haven't done yet. Two movies in a row on a watch party. I haven't done that yet. But I was thinking about
Pretty fun.
maybe doing one for like Kill Bill and Kill Bill 2 in the future.
Okay, yeah, cool.
But I'm not sure if we would actually get both movies done in one night. It might do like one night for part one and then part two the next night. But
Yeah,
I
they're
don't know.
long
Just
movies, aren't they?
yeah, it's just something I've been thinking about. Especially
Yeah.
like I don't know. I'm trying to like do some other watch parties that aren't like strictly horror.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I
cool,
don't know.
yeah.
I'm trying to do like at least like one watch party like every week, which is mostly horror movies, but I'm trying to just get like at least one movie in there that's not really like a straightforward horror movie, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, you are at real one, two. You said you're at the chili cook-off. You're around there, right?
Yeah. Just at the scene where like Dennis Hopper's like where the fuck is he?
I'm gonna find it.
In some store.
Is he at the chainsaw store?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's about to buy some chainsaws.
Yeah. He's
Yeah,
gonna
that's
look for the right one, yeah.
yeah. You're about like 22 minutes in or something. 20 minutes.
Yeah. After this we're gonna watch all three if you wanna stick around for that.
You're
Oh,
watching Texas Chainsaw 3.
like all three, like 2003. I think that's what Mega said you
So wait, how many movies you doing tonight?
what?
Sorry. How many movies are you watching tonight?
Just two. This one
So
and then oh three, I think. I'm pretty sure that's what
you
Mega
were
said.
talking about the remake.
Yeah.
The yeah 2003 or '04, I think that came out or whatever. But yeah, I know what you're talking about now. I was just a little confused there. I thought you were talking about like the third Texas Chainsaw at
Yeah,
first.
that's what I thought Mega said he wanted to watch last night, but
Now
I
I
don't think
I
he said.
I'm pretty much a fan of all the Chainsaw films. I don't really care for Next Generation that much, which
Yeah,
I know a
I
lot of
don't think
people really
anybody
don't.
does. I
I
don't
mean,
think
like I
anybody.
have the movie in my collection. Like I find it to be watchable, but like I feel
Yeah,
like it also has like a strong start to it, but it kind of unravels a bit.
it does. Yeah,
But like I can understand why some people really like it. And you got Matthew McConaughey in it. You got some familiar
yeah.
faces that make it interesting.
Renee
But
Zellweger. Yeah. But yeah, Matthew McConaughey. He's great in that movie though. He plays it off pretty good as like a crazy fucking person.
yeah, like I mean, I've heard him talk about the movie before, and apparently he was just getting out of film school at that time,
Oh,
and
was he?
he had some other like auditions lined up. But
Oh,
like
okay.
apparently his agent at the time was like, "Yo, I got a script here for the next Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie," and he was like, "I'm definitely taking the part if it's offered to me." He's like, "Whatever else is in the pipeline, that's getting put on the back burner." He's like, "Because I have to be in a Texas Chainsaw movie." I mean, he is from Texas or Arkansas or something like that,
Yeah, somewhere
so
like that. Yeah. Was Days Confused before that or during the same time? Or I
that
forget.
was definitely before. I think Dazed and Confused is like '85 maybe. And Texas Chainsaw, the next generation was like '94. It's
Okay,
something like
yeah. So
that.
it was before, yeah.
It's like almost 10 years, I think. Dazed and Confused. Oh, wait, Dazed and Confused, actually. No, why am I thinking Dazed and Confused is from the '80s? Dazed and Confused is from '93. So, like, technically, you were right. He did this right before the next generation.
Okay. Yeah. I
Like, it
thought it
was like
was
a year or
something like
two before. So, yeah, you were right. I was actually wrong about
that. Miss Carter. Yeah, it is like a bad acid trip or something.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll definitely hang out for the next movie, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's cool.
What am I doing? What are you watching this on? You own a copy of this?
No, actually, I'm just watching on Look Movies.
Okay.
Whatever I can't like get my hands on, I usually just will watch it on Look Movies.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do. If I don't own it, I go right to Look Movie, and so far the only movie that I could not actually find on there was the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That was
Oh
like
yeah,
the only like issue I had on that website. But sometimes it can be a little tricky searching for movies on there.
yeah,
Like
I
sometimes like
noticed that.
you put
That's
something in, like you'll type in, let's say like Friday the 13th, and it's just not showing up.
yeah.
But I notice if you go on Google and you type in like lookmovie.com and then Friday the 13th after
Oh,
it,
really?
the link shows up right away. Like
Oh,
just
okay. That's
weird
weird.
little shit like that'll happen
Yeah.
sometimes with searching for movies on there. But other than that, they got a really great selection of movies. There's no pop-up ads that ruin your
No.
day, like,
Yeah.
or to just slow you down from watching anything.
No. Yeah, it's a great site, I find.
Yeah,
No bars,
like I
just
mean, I still like using Tubi, but I don't use it.
yeah, same.
I use Look Movie a lot more often than I use Tubi.
Yeah. Yeah.
This it's funny like how like Toby Hooper like made this movie because his intentions that he has with this movie is what his intentions were with the original movie. He thought people were going to be laughing at the Texas Chainsaw Massacre when he made that.
Oh,
Like
okay.
people were not laughing when they came out of the theater. They were terrified.
Yeah,
And
with
he
the
thought it
first.
was going to be the opposite reaction, but and that's another reason why I think he really went out of his way to make this second movie the way he really wanted to make it.
Okay, I didn't
Because
know that.
like Canon Films basically gave him the money that he wanted. Like I forget the deal he got. It was like a couple picture deal or whatever from Canon Pictures or the Canon Group. And his intentions with this movie, which is what he did, was to make like an all out like horror comedy. And yeah, that's what he did with this. But I gotta admit, the first time I saw this movie, I was a little like confused by it, just because
Yeah,
like like you try to compare it to what the original film is and how you could actually conceive something like this from the original movie, but it's definitely grown on me a hell of a lot since then.
same. Oh, yeah, it's like two completely different tones for sure.
Yeah. But like also like even like when I didn't really care about this movie so much like years ago, it was more of like it wasn't like I specifically didn't care about this movie. I just wasn't big on horror comedies when I was growing up. I wasn't really able to understand the concept of laughing at something that's scary at a young age, like deciphering those
True.
two.
Yeah.
And once I got a little bit older, you understand things a little bit better. You could see things differently.
Yeah.
But yeah, I usually try to watch this movie at least every summer, along with the first one.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Yeah, like you said, like younger I was like I didn't really watch it like ever, but the more I started watching it, the more I started liking it. I haven't in so long
Yeah,
with movies, I
that's
think.
why it's really important to like give movies a second watch sometimes. Especially, I mean, unless you really hated a movie, then yeah, you're probably not going to give it another shot. But there's definitely like plenty of movies I've watched where I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. I'll just maybe give it another watch some other time. And then a second watch just completely changes my mind.
Yeah, it happens a lot with me anyways too. Halloween ends though, I can't do it, man. There's something about it. I don't know.
How many times have you tried watching it now?
Two, I think, and I
Two
can't.
times? I've watched it two times. I watched it on my tablet when it was available in theaters and it was like, COVID was still going on. And I watched it on my tablet and I was like, I don't really know how to feel about this. And then the Blu-ray was released and I saw a price drop and I was like, Well, I already have the other two. I gotta buy this and give it another watch so I can have an actual better opinion of it. And I feel like the beginning of it does have a strong start. Like the first 30, 40 minutes aren't really bad,
Hmm.
but it did start to spiral into a mess. And just a lot of questionable things as as I'm watching the movie. I'm just like, why would you go with these ideas? Like, what does this have to do with anything? Just a lot of it just didn't feel relevant.
No, not at all. And what there
But
was four different script writers, wasn't there? That's probably why it was so like
I think I don't know for sure with that, but I think I do remember reading about rewrites. I know there
right.
was like when COVID came in and kind of like put a wedge between that trilogy. I know there was definitely some rewrites on. I don't know if all three movies had rewrites, but I think it was Kills and Ends that had most of the rewrites.
Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah,
But I know like with COVID, like delaying things, that gave them the time to go back and look at things and do rewrites. But sometimes rewrites make things worse, and sometimes they don't. I
yeah,
don't know. But I just know when you have multiple, well, I don't know this for sure, but I just feel like when you have multiple people rewriting something, I feel like there's something that's going to go wrong. It's like there's potential there for somebody to screw it up.
hmm,
But that's not always true at the same time. But I just sometimes when I hear that there's multiple writers, that's when I'm like, I don't know. Should probably just have one guy writing it.
yeah. I think so. And that's well, two is not so bad if they're both on like the same page, I guess. Or I
But
think the
you're
more
talking
you
about
get in there,
kills. You're
what's
talking about
that?
Halloween Kills.
Yeah, yeah. Or
Yeah.
like whatever movie. Yeah,
But it's a shame because, like, watching Kills, there's some really cool elements about it, but there's a lot of characters where I just feel like going, get out of the way. Just get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't want to hear you anymore. Like, just like, even like, Michael Anthony Hall as Tommy, it doesn't work for me really.
no, just what
It
they
doesn't,
gave them was just shit.
yeah.
I don't think
It's
it's not his fault, but it's just what they gave him, I guess. Yeah, I know what
right.
you mean. Yeah. And
I
like,
don't know. It just didn't feel convincing. I actually felt like I was staring at Michael Anthony Hall and not a character. Like I felt like he
yeah,
was just there talking. And it's not that he
yeah,
did
I
a
could
bad
see that.
job. I think he did his part, whatever, what he had to do. It's just like, like the things I really do like about it though, like those flashbacks to 78, like I gotta admit, like even at the
Yeah,
house and seeing Dr. Loomis, everything looks so accurate.
it does. Yeah,
And that type of stuff can get you into the movie, but like this other shit that's going on with The Evil Dies Tonight and
yeah,
focusing on mental patients and town characters that just have no meaning and just I don't know, man. It's a
I
very like
agree.
that trilogy is just very conflicting. It's got its good things and it's got its questionable things.
Yeah, right.
I see
Yeah.
Katie's here. What's up, Katie?
Hey, Brooke. Hey, Katie. Yeah. We're at the scene where
Oh,
Chop at the top is
yeah.
with the coat hanger. Man, that's fucking weird.
Yeah, Brooke Scarlet. Hello, Brooke Scarlet. Hello, Russell, Mega Cat, and Rosalie. Rosalia. And Miss Carter's here. This is like when we really get introduced to Chop Top here.
Yeah, Bill Mosley. Yeah, he's great in this. He's great in
You know,
most of Rob Zombie's films too.
yeah, he does like some independent horror films sometimes, and he always brings his acting game to the movies, even though like the movie's not something that's very appealing to watch. Like I know he did this movie it's called Dead Souls from like 2015. It's just a complete shit movie, but
Okay,
he
never
still
heard
brings
of it.
his acting game to it. And like he like nowadays he's it seems like he is working on smaller films, but he's still like bringing his A game regardless. But I went to a Texas Chainsaw Massacre screening back in I want to say maybe 2013, and Bill Moseley showed up for a Q&A, and there was like nobody there, dude. There was only like 20 people in the crowd in this theater
Oh,
that can
wow.
sit like more than 500 people. And like barely anybody was asking him questions and shit. But I
Yeah,
ended up meeting him afterwards. Just a very nice guy, though. Very nice guy.
that's cool. Yeah, Miss Carter's saying the entire Halloween franchise is all over the place, and that is it's very true. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's true, man. Yeah, with all the films, yeah.
Like for me, mostly like the films that I like genuinely care about are the first three Halloweens. Four
Yeah,
and five and six, I can watch those movies, but I don't put them up on like a pedestal of being good. That's just my personal thoughts. Like the
I don't
mask
mind
for me
four. I
also
like
gets worse as the movies go along. I just every move it's like four and five and six. It's like they find a way to make the mask look even worse than before. But I've heard people agree with or disagree with me and say that the mask looks better as the movies goes along. So
I
what
don't
do
think
I
it
know? I
does.
don't know. But yeah, I'm not exactly like a diehard Halloween franchise fan. Overall, I can get into this first six movies, and that's when it runs dry for me. Like, I mean, I actually don't mind Rob Zombie's Halloween too much. That took some time for me to for that to really grow on me.
Yeah,
I
same.
can't. His second movie, I can't do that one now. That one's a tough one to get into.
Yeah, I gotta be in a certain mood to watch that one. It's like just it's out there.
Yeah, and it's a shame because like Malcolm McDowell, I feel like he does a pretty decent job with the Dr. Loomis character,
He
but
does, yeah, he made it his own.
he's just surrounded by bad things in that second movie. I don't know, but a lot of people it seems like they do like Rob Zombie's Halloween too. So I mean,
Like the first
maybe
20 minutes in that hospital scene, it was just awesome, man. If they had kept that whole movie going like that, it would be completely different. Like,
right, just the whole tone of it would have been different too. Yeah, Russell's saying he doesn't care. He likes all films, bad or good, and that's definitely a good way to look at it. To me, what's saying that that's being respectful of the stuff that you're probably not into. And, I do try to watch what I say about like shitting on a movie because you just never know when some like one movie that you're shitting on can be someone's favorite movie and you end up
yeah,
like ruining someone's day over it. So I mean, I try to if there's something I don't like, I try to be respectful without like completely shitting on it. Incoming now. Hitting the fuck out of him with that hammer.
Mega Cat, Rob Zombie, Scream.
Yo, you know that guy LG? The guy who plays LG? He was actually stabbed to death by some guy. Like he was like letting this guy like stay at his house or something, and he was like, I don't know, like apparently the guy just like needed some help with a place to live and a job, and I think he like was letting him live at his house and gave him a job and everything, and They got into like some kind of argument, and the guy ended up stabbing him to death.
Crazy.
Like I forget when that happened. I think that happened back in the 90s. But every
Huh.
time I see him in this movie, I always think of that. Like, damn, like that guy got fucking killed all just from trying to help someone out.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Again, trying to look up right now, like when that happened.
That was a decent jump scare. You weren't expecting that when
Yeah.
Leatherface comes out of nowhere.
Well, yeah, he plows in so fast. That's another
Yeah.
reason why it gets you. And that chainsaw is just revving and screaming. It's, yeah. He comes through like the Kool-Aid guy, you know? He comes right through
Yeah.
that wall. But yeah, his real name was Lou Perryman.
Luke Perryman. Huh.
Yeah, and this happened back in 2009.
Okay. So
He was
not
killed.
too long ago.
Yeah, I actually thought it was back in the 90s, but this happened on back in April of 2009, and he was 67 years old when he was killed. Just unfortunate, but
Trying to help someone out. Yeah, that's horrible,
yeah,
man.
like just from like reading the article I found on it, because I forget why I even looked him up in the first place, and I was like, oh, he's deceased. And then I started looking into that, and I was like, holy shit, it looks like he was killed by somebody.
Huh.
I don't know, like you should, like I don't know if you're a big like physical media collector, but Vinegar Syndrome released Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, like on 4K Blu-ray.
Okay. Nice.
And like I don't know, like if you ever get a chance to pick this up, dude, it is full. And I'm telling you, this thing is full of hours of special features. Like so many, like they even had like the older stuff, like ported over from older releases.
Oh,
And it's
nice.
just, I think it's just like I could sit here like I could watch these features over and over again because Tom Savini was like, one of the effects guys on the movie, and I could
Yeah.
just hear him talk for hours about effects work and stuff. And
Oh, for sure.
just hearing him talk is always like it always has me like engaged and like just hearing him talk just pulls me in every time. But a lot of really good informing stuff in those special features in that release. You know what? I'm gonna share this out. I forgot to share this out. Let's do that.
Right back.
Okay. You get that bitch? He's got a whole tool belt on and shit. You get it good. So, yo, you're from Canada, I think.
Yeah,
Okay. What are you more near like the East Coast? I'm assuming.
I'm from Calgary originally, but I'm living in the East Coast right now. Yeah,
Okay. No, I figured you and I were in the same time zone, so that's the reason why I figured you were probably on the East Coast.
yeah,
But that's cool, man.
yeah. You're right, Rosie. Nothing wrong with the movie debate. They are subjective. Yeah, and don't fucking freak out at someone because you don't like the movie or you like it and they don't.
Yeah, you just gotta be respectful and civil of that,
Yeah,
But it's I don't know. That stuff's hard to figure out, because you got so many personalities that clash with each other, and
yeah,
unfortunately,
true.
you're gonna run into some people sometimes that are just not on the same page as you. But yeah, at the end of the day, you just gotta be respectful of people's opinions. Like,
Yeah,
there's
for
tons
sure.
of things that I disagree with people, but I always try to find something that's relatable. Like whether it's like a single comment, I try like I don't know, I try to find something that's positive and relatable about it at least. Alright, I'm gonna share this out. Just hit the dude.
Uh, that's brutal. Also said stunt kid in the movie The Burning was killed in a helicopter crash during Airwolf.
Yeah, he's saying, remember the start of the burning? The full burn stunt was done by a 17-year-old stunt kid. Oh, right. He was killed in a helicopter crash during Airwolf. He was 24 years old. Rest in peace. His dad was a famous stuntman too. Holy shit, I didn't realize that. Like I knew in that scene there is like a legit stuntman. I just never knew it was like a young guy like that and he ended
Yeah, I
up
didn't know
dying.
that. Yeah, I didn't know
But
how
I
old he
mean,
was.
that's like being a stuntman, that's a job right there where you walk the fine line of life and death, It's
Yeah,
there's no guarantees with that job.
no,
I mean, there's no guarantees with life in general, but that's a job where you do walk a fine line with gambling with your life.
oh for sure.
I think he could have pulled her out of that hole so easily. He could have just like crawled in there a little bit and just grabbed her.
Oh,
Yes,
Russell,
sir.
you're from Toronto. Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's right. Russell's from Canada too. You know, he's mad if that's the vibe I'm putting out. I just refuse to fangirl over something if I ain't into it. If people don't like it, oh well, not my problem. Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, you just, I don't know, you just gotta focus on what you like. So that's all you can do. Can you imagine how long it must have took them to set up this
Oh, I
amusement park
know.
of death?
Yeah,
Because
I was
it's
just
so
thinking.
vast and big. There's like
Yeah.
levels to it too. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, when they go like underground, like that set piece, it's just awesome. Like,
Yeah. Like they like Canon Films, they definitely gave Hooper the money he wanted for this movie. Which, you know, you usually don't hear that with horror films. Usually you hear like they were barely scraping by with pennies, you know, and but this one I think they were I think I'm pretty sure the budget was like, you know, very comfortable.
good. Yeah, the first one, yeah, it was like legit, like guerrilla filmmaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have much money. Yeah, they paid the narrator at the first of the movie in a joint.
Wow. See, back then you could offer shit like that to
Yeah,
someone to get them
yeah,
to
it
do
wouldn't fly
something.
today.
But like just like, you know, like when you hear about them filming in like 100-degree weather in the middle of August in Texas like that, and
Oh, it'd be so hot.
I know, and like they have like real raw meat in certain areas of the movie to
Yeah, it would
where, you know, it's
stink.
supposed to be like set pieces, but just imagine what that fucking smelled like in there.
And they had to
That
wear
must
the
have been
same
stifling
smelling
hot.
clothes too.
Yeah, rotting meat, people sweating and just like, oh God. It just the making of the original movie just did not sound like a fun time.
Hey, 4K 10.
Hey, Brad's here from the 4K Tent Revival. What's up, man? We are just in the middle of
Right.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Timestamp is 54 minutes now.
You can almost feel the heat in the OG film. Yeah, because they're all sweaty. Yeah, just
Yeah.
stuff like that.
You know, I never noticed until now that Lefty has bike chains going through like his belt loops on his chest.
What's that?
There's like bike chains going through like those loops through like his vest area that like hold that are holding the chainsaws in place. I see
Right.
like bike chains going, or no, they're not bike chains. They're actually chainsaw chains. That's what it is.
Just in case if one chain breaks, he has a backup one.
Yeah, he's got a backup chain. That's funny. I never noticed his belt like that until now. It's all coming down.
He's strapped up with chainsaws instead of guns. It's like chainsaw.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of having extra bullets, he's got extra chains.
Got that big ass chainsaw, then like two mini ones on the side of.
Yeah, Brad's mentioning about the segment on the Vinegar Syndrome release from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, talking about the lair and how miserable they were to shoot it and everything. And like I was just briefly telling him about before you hopped on here, I was telling him about the 4K release, and he should pick it up because there's a lot of interesting and informing stuff in the special features.
Yeah, all right.
Like that's definitely one release right there. Like I felt like that was worth every dollar. I forget. I think I might have paid like $45 for this set, but I mean, it is like what, a 3 disc set. Yeah, it's a 3 disc set. You get like two Blu-rays, one 4K, and then it does come with a slipcover of the original artwork with
Nice.
a little bit of artwork of a chainsaw on the
I
back.
like that.
But then it also comes with a slide box to put the actual movie in there like
Oh,
that,
decent.
and you get
That's
the
awesome.
newly commissioned artwork. But a little pricey for what it is, but for everything that it offers,
worth
I
it.
feel like I got my money's worth. Like that was money well worth spending.
Good. Yeah, I'll probably pick it up sometime soon.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I think just the slide box I think was limited, but I'm pretty sure you could buy the regular standard Blu-ray for like 20 or 22 bucks or something like that, maybe. But
Okay.
nowadays the prices, all that shit is going up. It's like the regular 20 and $22 is going up to 25 and $28 now. It's spending 20 and 20 some dollars for a movie is becoming rare. Like, it's not. It's moving out of the normal.
Yeah. Like everything else
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
nowadays.
Everything is just overpriced, and you get a little quality's just going down too, which I don't understand.
Mm.
Sebastian's here. What's up, Sebastian?
Hey, Sebastian.
Yeah, those pieces of skin look so damn real. I'll be right back.
Yeah. A spicy 4K act. Hey, bud. Oh, really, Russell? I didn't know that. That's cool, though.
Now, Russell's saying, did you already read that? What Russell
Yeah,
said? Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
Day of the Dead, the guy who gets. Yeah, I remember hearing about that with Day of the Dead. They actually, like, one of the refrigerators was unplugged and all that fucking raw meat in there went bad. What a nightmare. He's like, I'm tired of kicking your ass. He's showing him the face. Like, look what I got.
Yeah. Looks great. Man.
You cool shit. There's shit they say in this movie that you can't say nowadays.
No, you wouldn't be able to get away with it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna repeat what was just said, but it was funny. You know what? I did a watch party last week for the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I was talking to a buddy of mine, Juno, and I realized that there's only one Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie I haven't seen, and it was that movie Leatherface with Steven Dorff from like 2017 or something like that. That's the only Chainsaw movie I haven't seen.
I don't
Like
think
I've
I've
seen
seen
the.
that either.
Did you see the new Netflix one?
I tried to watch it. I couldn't get into it, so
Yeah, that's. I don't blame you. That's not really a very savory movie, in my opinion. But
I might give it another go and try to
Yeah, I
watch
mean,
it again, but
like saying that earlier, it's always important to give another film a watch. I should probably give it another watch because I mean, I did watch the entire thing, but by the time I got to the end of it, I was so not interested that I was like watching it but barely watching it. Like I
yeah,
don't
I know what you mean.
like here's another thing, like I feel like a direct sequel to Texas Chainsaw Massacre at this point, it's just unnecessary. And for me, at the end of the original movie, Sally is so out of her damn mind from the experience that she just went through. I'm convinced that she's in a mental hospital. She's traumatized forever. Dude, like I just can't see her 40 years later with a shotgun and I'm getting revenge on the Sawyer family and all this shit. It just doesn't work for me.
No, yeah, it's kind
And
of
then
hard
they
to
got,
believe.
your occasional woke bullshit throughout the dialogue, and it's just like, come on, I just want to watch a movie.
Yeah,
But that's the new way of making movies today. I understand you want to be on a relatable level, but like Jesus Christ, man.
he like puts the face on her and the cowboy.
Yeah. He's like grabbing her arms and making her dance around.
Yeah, he likes her, hey?
Oh yeah, he's definitely infatuated with her. But I mean, it makes sense because it's just like the first time that Leatherface has experienced anything of like, someone being nice to him. He's so used to his fucking grandpa beating the shit out of him and Pop Chop yelling at him to go do something.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, okay,
Oh geez,
Smash.
it got to
Cool.
you too.
Yeah, I agree. Second one is almost as good as the first one.
I mean, I don't. Nothing's ever gonna top the original for me, but
Yeah,
I
this
don't
one
know.
comes
Like,
pretty close.
I mean, if I were to rank the movies, it would almost go in order, except for the movie that would come in last would be The Next Generation, which is like that's the fourth movie, I believe.
Yeah,
So part four, I mean, I still got to see that movie Leatherface that I haven't seen.
yeah, I
So if
haven't
I see
watched it
that,
yet
then I
either.
could actually rank the movies. But I just know The Next Generation would come in dead last. Like I
Was
like,
uh, was Leatherface? Is that the prequel one? Because I might have seen that one.
I don't know. Like I don't know a lot about it. I just know Stephen Dorff was in it as like the sheriff. Yeah, it came out in 2017. I'm gonna pull up the poster art real quick.
Maybe I didn't see it.
But it just like this past week, I realized I was like, this is the only Chainsaw movie I haven't seen. Like that's the artwork right there. I don't know if you can
Oh,
see that,
okay. No, I never seen it. No.
but apparently it's not that good either. Like I really haven't heard one positive thing about it, which is probably another reason why I just totally ignored it.
Right.
But I do want to just see it since it's the only one I haven't seen.
Yeah, see it for yourself and
Yeah,
decide if you like it or not. Because
right.
everyone's different.
Yeah, everybody's got their like a lot of us could have similar taste in things, but at the end of the day, we're all individuals and we like what we like.
Hey, Ashton. What's up, bud?
Who's that? Hello, Ashton. Ashton Luck. Yeah, Netflix Chainsaw Massacre. Saw it. what they did with Halloween Kills and tried for that kind of thing. Yeah, that's a good example, actually. And Russell's asking, have you people seen Andy Warhol's Flesh for Frankenstein and Blood for Dracula? I have both of those, and I love both of those movies. I mean, I would
I've never
definitely
seen
say
them.
that I like Flesh for Frankenstein a little bit more than Blood for Dracula, but those are really good movies.
Okay, I'll have to put those on my list to watch.
Yeah, like Udo Kier. I don't know if you know who he is. He was like a foreign actor. I think he might have been Italian
No.
or French or something. I forget, but like he's in those movies. And the first one, Flesh for Frankenstein is basically your classic Frankenstein story, but just told in a more modern way. But
Okay.
it's got some really good gore throughout that movie. And Blood for Dracula, that's also like it's definitely a good one, but I just feel like it's not as good as Flesh for Frankenstein. But I could definitely recommend, from my opinion, Flesh for Frankenstein. I feel like most horror fans would like that. Blood for Dracula, I don't think every horror fan would be into. Like, there's something about Blood for Dracula. Like, I like the movie, the atmosphere, and the acting, everything, all that delivers. But I just feel like Dracula is kind of like just not a very strong character in the movie for what Blood for Dracula. I just feel like he's constantly like complaining that he's dying throughout the movie than actually doing something. But still a good movie regardless.
I don't know, weird spin on it, but yeah, cool. Yeah, I'll check them out.
But for a long time, Flesh for Frankenstein was like really hard to get, like uncut. I know Vinegar Syndrome released it on Blu-ray 4K, but now that movie's been restored and it's easier to find fully uncut now.
Hmm.
Crooks don't pay taxes, politicians don't. Of course, Chop Top is his only worry is to make sure that he's got his mannequin strapped to him with his fucking tape player. Like, Chop Top is literally a living cartoon character.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like he
Yeah,
is like jumped off the screen out of a cartoon.
basically, yeah. It's great though.
I bet most people would probably look at this character and be like, it's not too hard to play a crazy guy like that. But to stay in a mindset like that constantly and be ready to film, you got to be like walking on a line of like, like, all right, I'm about to lose my damn mind here because I'm acting like a nut throughout this movie and I'm staying in this mindset in between takes. Like, I don't know. That shit's not easy in my opinion.
No, it wouldn't be. Unless you're half crazy and then you could pull it off.
Yeah, like that, then you have like a legit reason to be acting like that, I guess. Don't you get out?
Yeah. Chop Top always picking at his head, yeah.
That really adds to the character for
It
me too.
does.
Like
Yeah.
it makes it more convincing. He's lighting that fucking hanger on fire and he's just melting the flesh off the side of his head and eating it. Like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
I remember first time I
It
seen this
makes
movie when I was young, and I remember that, and it always gave me like a unsettled feeling,
Oh, I
like when
bet.
he was doing that.
Dude, when I first saw this when I was a kid, I didn't even realize that he had a hanger and was doing that. I was so like distracted by everything else that was going on that I really wasn't paying attention to the hanger. I didn't realize that what he was doing with the hanger until I watched it later on in life. So this is where like the first movie kind of ties in because he ends up finding Franklin's corpse in the wheelchair.
Is that who it is? I
Yeah,
th-
that's supposed to be Franklin from the first movie in the
yeah,
wheelchair.
I never noticed that. Oh no.
Yeah, I mean, it's like hard to make out, but like, he says his name. Like he says, "Oh, Franklin."
Hmm.
And he's like, "Yeah, I'm here now for you." Yeah, like I always hear too that like Dennis Hopper was very professional on the set of this movie. It's
Was he?
almost hard to believe that somebody could be professional in such a batshit crazy movie like
I know. Like,
this.
how could you take the shit serious?
Yeah, but apparently he showed up every day with his bells on, ready to fucking go when he was told, and that's just like somebody like Dennis Hopper too, like fucking
Mm.
guy was like a fucking drug addict most of his life.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, we see Franklin in a wheelchair now.
Russell's asking, have you seen Flesh and Blood with Rutger Hauer? I'm familiar with that movie, but I still haven't seen it. I believe that's like a late 80s vampire kind of movie.
He still has the flashlight.
Yeah, right. And like, I don't even know how he still has his arms because in the first movie he gets his arms cut off by the
Yeah,
chainsaw,
because
and
he's
then he
like waving
buries
them in
it.
the air. Yeah,
Yeah, and then he buries the chainsaw into his chest when he's done, which you don't
yeah.
see it on camera. But like, how did he get his arms back if he cut his arms off?
I don't know.
It's
Caught in
just
the air, the
it's just a
air, I
minor
guess.
issue. It doesn't ruin anything, but it is like
No,
kind of got some questions here. There's a bunch of families laying out in like beach chairs throughout Nomland.
yeah, it's a great set.
It
Uh,
really is, man. It's just like really makes you wonder like what was really involved to get this all set up. The
it's
chandeliers hanging from it. What the fuck? Why is there chandeliers?
yeah, I enjoy Dennis Hopper in Speed. He was great in that movie.
Dude, I enjoy him in pretty much everything.
Yeah,
You
he's a
know,
good
like
actor.
you know what movie he's in? He's got like a co-starring role, I guess, or whatever. Yeah, co-starring role is you remember True Romance?
Yeah,
He
I
plays
love
like
that movie.
He's Christian Slater's father in the movie, but he's like a
Yeah,
security guard or whatever. Like, just, like, little roles like that when you see him in movies playing like character actor parts. Like I always love
Christopher
seeing shit
Walken
like that.
kills him.
Yeah, Christopher Walken's in that movie too. Like,
Yeah.
Dennis Hopper and Christopher Walken have a scene together in that movie, and it's just so like I don't know the way they exchange dialogue in that movie is just it's
There's so many good
unbelievable.
actors in that movie.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's not just Christopher Walken and Dennis Hopper. You got Brad Pitt's in that
Yeah.
movie, Christian Slater, Patricia Arquette, Gary Oldman. It just James Gandolfini pops up in it at one point. Like, there's just a laundry list of cast members in that movie, and I really find it hard to believe that Quentin Tarantino wrote the movie and sold the script. But apparently he
Yeah.
was hurting so bad for money that was why he sold the script for it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I knew he wrote it. Yeah, I thought he directed it for a while there, and then no, he
I think
didn't.
he was supposed to, but the
Yeah.
opportunities like weren't coming apparently, and he was more focused on Pulp Fiction at the time.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah.
think that's what like the situation was. He was more focused on finishing that up, and he already had True Romance written. And I guess he was desperate for money too, and he was like, "I'm just gonna sell the script."
Yeah, he wrote Natural Born Killers as well. I wrote that
Yeah,
one.
that's like another example. He wrote that, but that was Oliver Stone that
Yeah,
directed that one.
that's a great movie as well.
Yeah, I watched that about like a month ago. It's not a movie that I watch very often, but I love that chaotic comic book feel that it has to it.
Yeah, it's
Like
like an
almost like a
acid
Fear and
trip.
Loathing in Las Vegas kind of style.
Yeah,
Like I mean, you get those constant like comic book kind of flashback scenes where like the camera goes crooked and thing, the colors go inverted. You go from black and white to full color. It's just a lot of that stuff seems like it's a turn off for people, but like that's why I like the movie. It's just
Yeah,
unpredictable chaos after it's like scene after scene, unpredictable chaos.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I used to watch that movie all the time as a kid.
Which is probably a rough one to watch as a kid. It's not, it's not exactly a kid-friendly movie, but
No, I
you know who's
remember.
really good in that movie that nobody ever talks about is Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, I
He
know,
plays he
right?
plays the father in that movie, and he's
Yeah,
all like sweaty and grimy looking. Like,
yeah, and he like fucking diddles, what's it, Mallory, and
yeah, Mallory's the daughter who's played by Juliet Lewis, and he's just constantly like, because like he shows it's like the Married with Children kind of style, like the TV segment that they're
Jose.
doing or whatever. But
Yeah,
yeah, a lot of good actors in that movie. Even Tommy Lee Jones is pretty good in that movie.
he is when he freaks out. Oh, it's fucking
Yeah,
hilarious.
I love it like the end when he finally gets um the guy who's the Australian news reporter. What the hell is his name? The Robert Downey Jr. I forget
Wayne
the guy's
Gale.
name, but like he gets him to start killing people at the end. And he's like, "Yeah, that's right. Now you're getting into the spirit of it." He started killing people in the prison. he, he's just a news reporter. He ends up killing people.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sebastian, we were actually talking about that earlier. How the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre is so different from this one, and he tried to make a comedic movie with the original movie, but it just gave everybody a terrifying experience. And yeah, he got the opposite reaction that he was expecting with the original movie, and decided to go ahead and make what he intended to make with this one, which Canon was willing to give him the money for. And I think also like it was like by the time Hooper made Salem's Lot and then he made the Funhouse, I think those two movies is what really helped to establish him and also like give him like that's why I really think he got the job for Poltergeist, even though
Yeah.
you can never get the full story on that, whether or not he actually directed the whole thing or not. But apparently, with that, from what I remember hearing, apparently Steven Spielberg showed up one day to the Poltergeist set and looked at everything and was like, "Oh no, no, we can't do this. This is going to turn into an R-rated movie that we don't want to put out, and no, we can't do this. This is just too scary from what we have set up here. We need to take this down a little bit." And that's I don't know who came in and finished it, if it was actually Spielberg or not, but apparently Toby Hooper had things looking way too scary for what Spielberg had in mind. And I don't even know what I just said is exactly true, but that's what I've heard in the past.
Yeah.
But
Heard
I really
something
do
like
think
that.
like Salem's Lot, which was a made for TV movie in '79, and then he made the Funhouse in '81. I feel like those were the movies that really like put him on the map and to be recognized and to be and to I'm sorry and to be considered as a horror director.
Yeah.
Because once he put out Texas Chainsaw Massacre, he went on to make Eaten Alive, the alligator movie, and I forget
Yeah,
what
they
he did
were
right after that. But
hits.
it was like like people were aware of him by the time he was done making Eaten Alive after Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But I really think it was Salem's Lot and the Funhouse is what like put him out there to be recognized.
Yeah, I can see that.
It was awesome.
The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre kept getting an X rated, so they had to keep cutting stuff out of that.
But that's the original one, right?
Yeah.
That probably explains why the movie's like fairly short too. I think it's only like a running time of like like an hour and 25 minutes.
Yeah.
That's got to be frustrating, man. Making a movie and getting certain things cut out that you're busting your balls to fucking get accomplished.
Yeah, same with what was it, Evil Dead. That
Yeah.
kept getting X-rated too, that film.
Yeah, I think another one that got ripped apart was Silent Night, Deadly Night,
Oh,
the
did it?
original one. That one got ripped apart too, man.
Yeah. I remember like back in the day when like all the Christians were so pissed off about that movie. Like,
Oh, the because of the killer Santa Claus, and
yeah,
yeah, all the mothers were sending like threatening letters to the director and everything. And
yeah.
I think one I remember like reading something because like I know like on my DVD that I have, it's from Anchor Bay, and if you go into special features, you can actually look at the notes that the director was receiving from people.
Oh,
And
really?
one of the notes, like there was like a mother that said, you know, you can mess around with any other holiday that you want, but you don't mess around with Christmas. Like it was like something like that. Like, oh, okay. Like, oh, fucking such a sacred holiday. Like it's just I
Oh,
don't know.
people, yeah, just take Christmas like, oh, to heart.
But apparently, you remember the Ghoulies movies with the
Which
little
movies?
creatures? You remember
Oh, Ghoulies.
Ghoulies?
Yeah, Ghoulies. Yeah, I remember those.
But apparently, the second one, the poster art is a toilet with a little creature coming out of it,
Yeah.
and the tagline is "They'll get you in the end." And apparently, kids saw the movie, and there's a scene when one of the goalies comes out of the toilet and like bites a guy in the ass. But apparently, some kids were terrified to use the toilet because of that movie. And the director was receiving letters about like how they're having so much trouble trying to potty train their kid because they saw his movie. Like, how ridiculous is that? Like, you're
That
mad
is
because your kid
ridiculous.
don't want to use the fucking toilet anymore.
Uh, was the first one. I remember watching that as a kid, and it just, oh man, I loved it. But like the first when like that girl's boob starts like it bursts or whatever, like in the church.
Yeah.
Remember
That's
that? I
like the
just
first
always
one's
thought it
got
was
like
so
that
fucked up.
satanic ritual thing going on in it.
Yeah,
Because like all like the goalies are like summoned through like this like satanic ritual or something.
yeah,
And like the second one, they just kind of show up at this carnival. They're just there.
yeah. It's random.
But they are fun movies. Like
They
I
are.
bought the double feature Blu-ray like a few years ago, and it was like the first time I watched them in years, and I was like really surprised to see that the movies were still fun to rewatch again.
Yeah,
But just
critters.
but every time I see that poster from Goalies 2 with the little green guy coming out of the toilet and the tagline says they'll get you in the end, it's just like, oh god. Just makes me think of parents being mad because their kids don't want to use the toilet anymore.
That's true.
You know, Grandpa's way more alive in this movie than he was in the
Yeah,
first one.
the first one, a 17-year-old played him.
Right, that's right.
Yeah. And he actually, he didn't mean to hit the girl over the head with the hammer, but she does actually get hit in the head with the hammer in the first one.
I could see that accident coming because you know, like you know, you have to be swinging in that motion, and you know you're
Yeah.
supposed to be acting like you're hitting something. So it's I could see that accident happening. Like apparently that happens a lot with actors that have a fight scene where they got to fist fight each other. Apparently, whenever two actors are working in that kind of area, one of them ends up getting punched by accident. It
Oh,
just
really?
happens. When you're
Yeah.
throwing punches like fake like that and you're doing it enough times, I think eventually you're gonna clip somebody.
Yeah, Russell, Critters films. Yeah, they're great. I like the Critters. The
Yeah,
third one, it's
I have the
alright.
four film box set, but I still haven't seen the fourth one yet. I've only seen the first three.
Yeah, I never seen the fourth one.
I don't hear great
Oh,
things about it, but I have it and I need to just watch it already. And I actually haven't watched the show because not I haven't heard one person say anything good about the Critters series.
oh, there's like a show
I
on
think it
TV.
yeah, Shudder. I believe
Oh,
Shudder put out a Critters like one season thing. I
okay.
think it's called Critters Attack. That's what it's called.
Cool.
And I think that came out like maybe three or
Check
four
it out.
years ago. It was on yeah, it was on Shudder. But I really love how the second one is like an unofficial Easter horror movie
Yeah,
because like the
it's fucking
movie does like
hilarious.
it does take place on Easter and there's like an Easter egg hunt
That's
and
the best
some of
part,
the eggs get mixed
I
up for critter eggs and
think.
shit
Yeah.
and they managed to make it work. It's hard to make a horror movie work on like, you know, Easter Sunday, but they do manage to make it work.
Yeah, they do. Oh, I love that scene. It's fucking hilarious. That big, huge critter ball. It's like rolling.
Oh yeah, dude. When I saw that when I was a kid, I actually kept rewinding it. I
Yeah.
was like, I want to see the critter ball again. Sebastian's asking, what are y'all's top favorite horror directors? I'm starting to appreciate James Wan. Top horror directors. I mean, off the top of my head, it's definitely John Carpenter. Stuart Gordon. Yeah, definitely Stuart Gordon. Dario Argento.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Like just going off the top of my head there. I mean, I definitely love Wes Craven and like you know George A. Romero too. But I probably should have mentioned George A. Romero like first because he's really up there as one of my favorites. But one director I've
Oh,
always
yeah.
liked, and you know I hear people mention him sometimes, is Ridley Scott. Everything
Really
Ridley
Scott.
Scott touches to me is just pure gold. Like you
Oh,
know, I
Alien,
feel
man.
like every director, no matter what they've made in their life, every director I feel like has made a bad movie at some point. Even Ridley Scott has made some bad movies or
Yeah.
questionable movies. But for the most part, like I love most of his movies and his style of filmmaking.
Yeah.
Finally
I'd
having the
say, yeah, there's a
chance.
lot of good horror directors out there, but yeah, my top, yeah, it would be like John Carpenter, Wes Craven, George Romero.
You know,
Uh,
James Wan is really making a name for himself
yeah,
too,
James
though.
Wan is good, except for that MAGA movie. But I heard the studio had to cut all the good stuff out of it to make it like a PG movie, PG-13.
Yeah, I ended up picking up *Malignant* on a price drop. I watched it. I didn't hate the movie, but I wasn't like super thrilled with it, and I actually
Yeah,
felt like it could have been a little bit shorter. Felt like
yeah,
the
I
movie
found it
just
was
kind of
too long.
dragged a bit. Like in the last act, I felt like I was like, "It's why is this still going?" Like, but that's another movie I really need to give another rewatch to have a better opinion of because I know I didn't hate the movie, but I wasn't exactly thrilled with it either. But actually, I'm glad you mentioned *Malignant* because yeah, I really do need to give that a rewatch. I might try to watch that again sometime soon. And I heard that the new *Insidious* movie's pretty good. I don't know if he directed that or not, but I heard it was good.
Yeah, I heard mixed things about it, but yeah, I'll have to watch it for myself.
Yeah, *The Red Door* was that directed by him? No, Patrick Wilson actually
Yeah,
directed it.
Patrick Wilson, yeah.
So he's finally getting his foot in the door in the directing game. But yeah, I've heard good things about it, so I still got it. That's the only Insidious movie I haven't seen.
Yeah. I like the other ones. First one, yeah, for sure. Second one, I didn't mind. I thought it was pretty good.
You know, I can't
The
even
third
really
and
remember the
fourth
third one
was
right
kind
now.
of weak, but
Yeah, for some reason, like I'm not remembering the third one that much, but I did like the first two. I know that. Yeah, like the Conjuring films, I think the first two were pretty good, but the third one is another one I gotta give a rewatch because it's like the same situation with Malignant. Like I didn't hate the movie, but I wasn't thrilled with it, and I gotta watch it again. But you know, I found The Nun on Blu-ray at the Dollar Tree, and I never hear anything good about it, and that's why I'm like struggling to even put it in my Blu-ray player and watch it.
uh, I found it like really boring to be honest. Well, I
Yeah.
seen it when it first came out, and I remember, yeah, I just thought it was really boring.
It's a shame because it seems like just from like watching the trailer for The Nun, it seems like it's got something really going for it, like something different and
Yeah, like
original too. And
what
but
was the Conjuring 2? They introduced that character, right, in the second one? Yeah, I do believe.
something
What?
like that. It's in a. I think we first see the nun in a picture on the wall,
Yeah, like
and what's her name gets
that was
all like
great. It was
freaked out
creepy
by
in
it.
there.
There's like some connection between the what's her name? Like God damn it, Lorraine Warren or whatever her name is. There's like some kind of connection between her and that nun or that picture or whatever. But I'm gonna have to sit down and just watch the nun. It's gonna have to happen. I gotta watch it. But didn't the new movie already come out, The Nun 2?
I'm not sure if it's out yet. I know it's coming out soon though.
Or it's coming out soon? Because I know the new Exorcist movie, that's gonna be the Halloween movie of the year. It's coming out on like
Yeah, I'd
October
say it will
13th.
be too. Yeah.
Which is Friday the 13th this year. And yeah, that's definitely the
Is it?
Halloween movie of the year, which I guess we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
But I really hope it's better than the trailer. I just, yeah, hope it's better than what they gave us with that trailer.
Yeah. Hope so.
Coming up to
Ashton's
the final act here.
yeah. Ashton's list is Wes Craven, John Carpenter, George Romero, James Wan, and Lee Wanell. Yeah, that's a good list. I like them.
Zodiac's here. What's up, Zodiac?
Hey Zodiac.
Zodiac Z. So yeah, Ashton Luck is saying Insidious, The Red Door was okay. Patrick Wilson did a great job directing, but the writing was all over the place. That's a shame, but I mean,
Yeah.
just from reading that comment, that at least gives me some,
Hope.
inspiration to watch it. It sounds like
Yeah.
it's a watchable movie, but it's got some problems with the writing.
Yeah, I'll give it a watch. I'll give it a go. Yeah.
I mean, just another thing I look at it as, it's the only one I haven't seen yet. It's may as well just get it out of the way.
Yeah.
The shit they make out of bones in this movie.
This scene's pretty awesome. Like I find it
I
builds up a
love how
lot of
the skull
suspense.
heads, the
Yeah.
skull heads have hands on the side of their heads as wings. Like, brilliant idea.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, just like bones and skulls everywhere.
Yeah. Russell's saying he went to Catholic school as a child with a nun principal, so no nun films from me. It's understandable. I went to Catholic school for a couple years. I can relate. I know. You know what's funny? Like I actually got kicked out of Catholic school, and there was no real legit reason for it. But I had an older brother. It was 2.5 years older than me, and he got detention every day. Every day after school, I'd have to wait for him outside because he was in the middle of detention. And one day they called me down to the office and they were like, "Your brother is being expelled from school, and we just want you to go with him." And I was like, "Okay." And I remember my mom picked this up. I was like, "My mom's gonna fucking kill us." My mom's like, "You know what? I was tired of paying that tuition anyway. You kids hungry? You want to go to McDonald's?" And I was like, "What? She's not pissed? Like, you gotta be kidding me."
It turned out for the best.
But I got kicked out of school basically because of my brother. Like, they were like, "Your brother's expelled, so you know what? Just go with him." I was like, "Okay." I did nothing wrong here, but okay.
That's fucked up.
That's the end of the movie. You know, like I think I'm probably gonna stick around with you to watch the other one.
Yeah, cool.
I mean, if you're still watching it. I just gotta grab the Blu-ray real quick and switch this out. You know, I don't mind the prequel movie either. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning.
Yeah, I think that might have been one of the last ones I watched.
Yeah, I thought like it seems like a lot of people are turned off by it, but I thought it was pretty good, and I also feel like it mixes very well with the first movie, the 2004 one. Like
Yeah.
it feels like it's in the same realm. It's the same looking house, the same characters. Like everything looks like it just flowed right into the next movie.
That ended pretty good.
I remember seeing this movie in the theater.
Yeah, same.
The 2004 movie when that came out.
Yeah, I seen it in the theater too. I loved it. I was having a great time.
Dude, it was actually like being in a theater setting with this. Like some of this shit was actually kind of scary. Like especially that scene when like the cops are going down to the basement and they're
Yeah,
like
I
recording
was just gonna say
everything.
that.
And then out of nowhere, like Leatherface just like jumps out of nowhere. I was in the theater. I was like, "Holy shit, dude. Like, what the fuck?"
Yeah,
I was not expecting that. And then like
I wasn't either.
you see like fingernails that are like stuck to the wall and there's like scrape marks you could tell from like victims being pulled down the basement and shit.
Yeah.
It's just like ooh, and you hear nothing but dripping. Nasty, damp, wet dripping. It's just like, ew, what's going on in this basement? Like, what the fuck? I'm gonna get a disease just from watching this movie.
One sec.
You know, I can never figure out what year this movie was released. Is it '03 or '04? Maybe it is '03, and I always say '04, and I keep fucking that up. You guys need a link down there for the movie? I'm gonna get a link real quick for the '03 movie.
Yeah, sure.
I'll pull that up if anyone in the chat wants to watch it.
Thanks, Sean.
Texas Look movie.
I remember I took my girlfriend at the time to this movie and she was fucking scared.
I can only imagine, dude. Probably terrified the entire time. Like I remember the last time I really had fun in a theater though was the Evil Dead remake in 2013 when that came out. Just
Yeah,
that opening scene, the opening scene so powerful. I was like,
it is.
yo, like we got a dead serious Evil Dead movie here, don't we? Like there's no comedy in this one.
Oh. I think it's a great one. Well,
Yeah, the remake.
I like all of them, but yeah,
Yeah, I also like the new one. When I was when I first watched the new one, Evil Dead Rise, like the opening title card was incredible.
yeah,
But like right after that, as we're starting to get established with the characters, I was like, I don't know about this, man. This is like this weird, but I settled into it.
yeah.
And eventually the killing and everything started coming. And I was like, yeah, this is actually, yeah, I like this movie. I just was having some trouble figuring that out if I really did like this movie or not.
Yeah, they could have built up the characters better, I think. They should have done that.
Yeah, yeah. Certain characters, I definitely could have fleshed them out a little bit better. All right, I got a link for the '03 movie. I got to start saying that more often. I always say the '04 movie. It's not. It's the '03 movie.
You're only off by a year.
I know. That's like the most irritating part about it. Like, keep saying '04 and it's '03. But I guess just let me know when you want to start this.
I'm good. Is
You
everyone
started
else
it?
ready?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's you know what? I can't drop a link because I'm not a mod. That's why I can't drop.
Oh
But
shit.
you could somebody could take that link and copy and paste it. Or I mean, unless you just literally go on lookmovie.com yourself and type in Texas Chainsaw Massacre and it should pop right up. That's what it did for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm watching it on right now.
So everyone in the chat, just go on lookmovie.com real quick and just type in Texas Chainsaw Massacre and click on the one that says 2003.
Yeah. Just write something in the chat, Sean. I'll make you a mod.
Oh, all right, I'm gonna just share the link again. That is like corny though. Like you have to be a mod just to share a link. But I guess that also
Prevents from
plays
people
into the
sending like some fucked up shit, I guess.
yeah, like I don't know. Being mods are kind of odd to deal with. Like a lot of times I forget to even add people as a mod because I'm just not focusing on it.
Yeah.
Like I never even focus on it until someone says like, "How come my name's not blue?" And I go, "Oh, okay," and I just make it blue. The what does the R stand for in Arlie Ernie? I don't know. Maybe Robert. I don't know.
Oh shit. I don't know why that.
But you know, like another thing is like when I don't like I don't know, like I usually stream like once a week, but I need to do it more often to get used to the features more often. Yeah, I don't think I've been modified yet, but yeah, still not yet. I mean, it's not a big deal. I'm just saying, like people could just go on the Look Movie website and just type in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I guess if everyone in the chat, whenever you guys are ready, I guess just let us know. And we'll start this soon.
He's won't let me show Russell's comment.
Russell.
That's what I was thinking too. 'Cause she just like pulls it out and it's like, what the fuck?
All right, it looks like the chat's ready to go. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. You?
All right, I guess we'll count it down from five. I'll start at five. So five, four, three, two, one. Hit play. I mean, I don't, there's no way you could ever have a watch party where everybody's on time. Everybody gets off by like 10, 12, 15 seconds or something.
Yeah.
But we're always around the same area. So it's all that matters. Yeah, whenever you see that Platinum Dunes logo, that means it's a Michael Bay movie. When you see that Platinum Dunes, every time I see that, I'm like, oh, there goes
Sure.
Michael Bay. Which nothing wrong with Michael Bay.
No.
Like I gotta say though, like when he came out with the Friday the 13th remake, when I first saw it, I was like, like I kind of like this movie, but I just don't like this overproduced, drenched look. It just, I'm used to like Friday the 13th movies having this backwoods, grimy look to it. And when I
Yeah.
first saw the remake for the Friday the 13th, it just felt too clean.
Yeah, it is clean.
And
Like
just
really
that
clean.
overproduced look was like just so washed out to me. But the Friday the 13th remake has definitely grown on me so much since then. Like it's definitely like one of my favorites in the franchise now. But I just know the first time I saw it, it really took some time for me to get used to the look of everything. Well, that's because Michael Bay's got a specific way of making his sets
His
look throughout
films.
his
Yeah.
movies. Yeah, it's just I don't agree with most of it, but he does a good job. He does a really good job with most of his films.
Yeah, when I first heard that he was making Chainsaw Massacre remake, I was like, what? Michael Bay? Really? He's doing horror now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think like he did like I know he did some other horror related things around that time. Yeah, this is the part when the cop's going downstairs and he's talking to the tape recorder. Like this scene scared the shit out of me when I was in the theater. It's all in grimy black and white footage. They're looking at the scratches on the walls. Like, oh my god, some fucking true terror going on in that basement. You hear nothing but dripping. Oh god, get me out of here. He's like, I think that's an embedded fingernail.
Yeah, even the
I just noticed that the date of when this happened in the movie, it says August 20th. But in the original 74 movie, it takes place on August 18th.
oh, it's off a couple of days. So maybe he wanted to switch it up. I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably. I just wonder why they did that. Like, it's not
I'm
a
not
big deal
sure.
or anything. It doesn't hurt the movie. It's just a
No.
little odd to like, why 2 days later?
Yeah, I like how they kind of switched it up a bit. Like they're going to Leonard Skinner concert, and the first one they were just going to their grandfather's house.
Well,
Or
apparently they were
no,
going to a festival. They were going to some kind of concert festival in Dallas in the
yeah,
first one, and they wanted to stop by Sally's grandpa's house.
Right.
which
Okay,
is
so yeah, it's kind
not
of
really
sad.
there anymore. And they wanted to go swimming in that hole, and that was all dried up. And then they realized they're out of gas, and they might have to go around asking the neighbors to borrow some money or sell his guitar. The one guy's like, I could sell my guitar, but the kids were so ignorant to the fact that you can't just walk into someone's house. And they walked into the wrong one.
Exactly. Especially in Texas.
Yeah, apparently there is a rule in Texas. You walk into someone's house uninvited, you're allowed to blow them away.
Yeah.
I don't think you're allowed to do that in the other states. I think it's only Texas. Like you walk into someone's house uninvited, you're allowed to fucking shoot them.
Uh,
Do that in
Rosie,
another state, you're gonna do some time in prison.
Rosie's, you live in Texas, right? Is that how
But
it is?
I don't even know if they still enforce that law though. I just know I've heard of that before. Like down in
Yeah.
Texas, they have the right to blow you away if you walk into someone's house uninvited.
Yeah, I heard that too.
But I just don't nowadays. I'm sure they probably don't enforce that law too much, or it's probably loopholed to fucking death. Yeah, another thing is like I gotta admit, the first time I saw this movie and I saw the actual house and how different it looked to the original one, I was like, I don't know how I feel about the Texas Chainsaw House looking like a motel. Is it like, with like all those that porch setting on the next level? It just looked like a hotel or something. But I mean, this movie altogether has definitely grown on me so much more since then.
Yeah, I always liked it.
I never really had many issues with it, just besides the overproduced look, really, and just the look of the house, just minor things.
Yeah.
But since then, I feel like this movie's definitely grown on me a lot more. It's just I don't know. I feel like with being like a fan of cinema, especially with horror, when remakes come out, we're just not. I don't know. We're kind of shy to it in a way. It's we're not ready to take in what we're seeing until we see it a few times and let it kind of digest in our heads and everything, and then you give it
That's
another
true.
shot and you start to see the value of it.
Yeah, Jessica Biel. Yeah, she was great.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely
You never
agree.
see her in anything anymore, do you?
Nah, it seems like she is slowed down as an actress. I know she like had a baby a few years ago because she's married to Justin Timberlake.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
And I know they
so
had a kid like a few years ago, but I think once she was pregnant, I think she just slowed down on taking roles.
yeah, makes sense.
But I think every actor goes through that at some point where they slow down with like their career. It'll slow down at some point, and out of nowhere they come back
Yeah,
and they
Cameron
start doing
Diaz
shit.
did too. She took.
But I do like the story in this, how they're like, they're trying to their whole main reason is to get this 2 pounds of
Weed.
weed in the
Yeah,
pinata. But like, he lied to his girlfriend and said we're going to the concert. Like the story definitely worked. That whole storyline, it works pretty well.
yeah. What's his name? Sheriff Hoyt. Is that?
Hoyt, yeah, Hoyt, I believe that is Hoyt.
Oh man, he's so badass looking this man. Like he puts yeah, he puts the fear into you for sure in this movie, man. Like
Yeah, Arlie Ermy is like
yeah,
he
that's
was
the
a
name.
real life drill sergeant at one point
Yeah,
in
he
the
was.
military.
Yeah, he was
And
great
that
in Full
guy,
Metal Jacket.
yeah, I believe that might have been the first movie I ever seen him in.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, it's really weird though, because like when I was a kid, I wasn't allowed to watch horror movies. But my dad would have like random war movies on TV, and I'd be sitting there watching it, and I would like ask him, I'd be like, "Why am I allowed to watch this, but I can't watch Freddy Krueger?" And my dad would just be like, "You're not watching that." Like he would just like say that to me, like okay, I'm allowed to watch people getting blown up with missile launchers, but I can't watch Freddy Krueger. Like what the fuck, man? I never understood that. I'm like, okay, like I'm allowed to watch these people getting blown up here, but I can't watch Freddy Krueger haunt some people in their dreams. But that was mainly because like the horror movies is what like made me like not sleep at night. Like the war movies never gave me any trouble, but definitely had
No,
some
the
sleepless
horror.
nights with horror movies.
I don't think I ever, well, only The Exorcist is the only thing that ever gave me like nightmares.
Dude,
And
I
Pet
remember the first
Sematary.
time I saw the original When a Stranger Calls from 1978 or 79.
Yeah.
The opening of that movie is so scary and intense, and I was watching it by myself, which made it worse.
Mm.
And by the time I got through like that 20-minute opening sequence of this babysitter just being terrorized by some guy calling her, I was so scared that I didn't even want to get off the couch to go to my room. I felt like if I went up to my room, I was going to get attacked by something that scared the fucking living shit out of me.
It's funny how
But
your
like,
mind works when you're a kid, eh?
yeah, exactly.
Imagination just goes.
Your imagination can really take you to a place you don't want to be.
Yeah.
But like, just like I also remember when I was a kid, like having like a regular like small box TV in my room, and like me and my brother were getting ready for bed, and I found Stephen King's It on TV, and it
Yeah.
was right at the point when Georgie is at the sewer and talking to Pennywise, and I'm like
Yeah.
sitting there watching, and my mom's like, "You kids are not watching this," and shut it off on us, and then she left the room and shut the door, and we got back up and turned it on, and we went to sleep watching it. But I remember the next night I tried to go to sleep and I was just thinking of the fucking Pennywise clown. Like maybe my mom was right. I shouldn't have watched that.
Yeah, my mom didn't care if we watched horror movies, so she didn't mind.
Yeah,
Kind
my
of,
parents weren't like religious, like or anything like that, but they were just like, nah, you're not watch. Like it's the main reason why me and my brother weren't allowed to watch horror movies is because there were certain nights when like we couldn't sleep, like we had nightmares, and my parents were like, enough of this shit, like you're not watching horror movies anymore.
yeah,
But it almost didn't matter
understandable.
because I have a sister that's 10 years older than me, and she would usually rent the movies for us. Like she would go out and like on her way home, she would stop at the movie store and be like, "This was on the new release rack," and I'd be like, "Okay, that's what we're watching tonight." But she knew that the horror movies would keep me and my brother quiet until we had nightmares, I guess. So
And it's funny, my stepdad, every year, on Christmas Eve, he'll play The Exorcist
oh my
to
god.
scare the shit out of my mom.
Oh god. I bet you that movie probably terrified the shit out of your mom too.
Oh yeah, she seen it in the theater, and yeah, she's still scared of that movie till this day. She will not watch it. Even the music fucking creeps her out.
Yeah, that'll be enough to do it for you. But like, it's funny you say that. Like he does that to her on Christmas because the movie was released initially in 1973, the day after Christmas.
Yeah, it was, yeah, on the
It was released
26th,
on
I
like
think.
the 26th or something like that.
Yeah.
But I remember when they re-released that. They re-released the director's cut in theaters back in like 2001 or 2002. And me and a couple of friends were like, "Oh yeah, let's go see The Exorcist or whatever." And at first, I didn't realize it was a different cut of the movie. I thought they were just showing The Exorcist again. So I was like, no big deal. I've already seen this before. But
Yeah.
then the theater lights started to dim down, and that high pitched violin started playing, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
not
man.
feeling
That
great, man.
whole
Like I
movie is
think I'm
just
actually
creepy.
like getting scared here. I was real ignorant to it, like because I was, I saw this before. It's not a big deal, but once those lights went down and I heard that violin, I was like, oh shit. Man's here. What's up, man? But we
Hey,
just started
man.
watching the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. We are 14 minutes in.
Zodiac says, my mom is pretty cool. She was my child's play and scream buddy. What else did he say? He said, my parents let me watch horror movies when I was 5.
That's always like good to hear. But I mean, it's not like I don't know. All parents want to like shield you from everything that's harmful. But it's always good to hear when parents have that sense of mind to realize that, like, all right, they're just watching a movie. How much damage can this really do?
Yeah,
But some kids take things a little bit more seriously. Like, everyone's imagination runs differently than everyone else's. So you just never know what kind of effect this a movie's going to have on a kid. I mean, a kid could be watching a
exactly.
regular thriller movie, and there could be a particular scene that just fucks their day up.
Yeah, it's
Like
true. Yeah,
you just
some
never
people
know.
are more sensitive than others too, right? Like some kids are more
Yeah,
sensitive.
yep. It's. I mean, it's just a matter of being mindful to that stuff and like,
Yeah,
just
for
being
sure.
respectful too. Man, I would not eat shit in that fucking deli. It's got fucking pig's heads with flies all over it. Like, what is
Yeah,
appealing
it's
here?
fucking nasty.
Like, everything in there looks like it should be in the dumpster.
That guy's pissed. He threw away all the weed. What are you doing?
Yeah, I think he was eating some of it too. Or maybe I'm thinking of Friday the 13th, part three. The fucking cops are coming and they're like, oh, we gotta eat the weed.
I had to eat hash before. Like, oh man,
You probably got high as shit off of that too, I bet.
I was.
Yeah, you eat hash, you're gonna get high off it. You eat some regular weed, you're not gonna get high. But you eat hash, yeah, you're gonna get high off that
Remember?
shit.
Yeah, we went to go smoke, and the cops pulled up behind us.
Oh,
But they didn't even search us, and then but everybody in the car is like freaking out, and I
yeah,
ate.
but honestly, I think you did the right thing, man. Because if you
So I
didn't eat
ate
that
it.
shit, and let's say he searched you, you would have been shit out of luck, dude.
Yeah, I think I was only 16 at the time too. So yeah, 16 I think.
Yeah,
And
that cop would have fucked your day up if you found that hash. I looking back on that, I'm pretty sure I would have ate the hash too, proudly.
then
Yeah, there's definitely nothing funny about The Exorcist, that's for sure.
no, unless you watch Scream 2 or Scary Movie 2.
Yeah. I mean, unless you can find like some like humor out of like all that like unnecessary behavior from Burke. Like, I mean, like that's kind of funny. He's like goes up to the butler and he's like, "You Nazi bastard!" It's like accusing him of being a Nazi and shit. And then he's like, "I think I have an alien pubic hair in my drink." Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? What the fuck? Who says that? But other than that, there's really nothing funny about The Exorcist. The one girl just said, did you smell that nasty beef shit?" Talking about the shit in the store. Just driving around with a bloody bullet hole out the back window.
Yeah. It's like pieces of brain on the seat.
I know, dude. They made that chunky. They made that fucking hole in the head. Oh yeah, it's all over the place, all over the chair. Ew, that's extra chunky. Yeah, I think that's like another thing, like with this movie. Why like some of the kills are pretty damn brutal in it. I think they must have looked at the original film and were like, there isn't a lot of blood in the original one. Why don't we amp that up a little bit with this one? But like, it's not
Yeah.
over excessive or anything.
No, it's not.
I think it's pretty accurate and necessary, like all the gore scenes in this.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Like Terrifier or something.
Yeah, you know what's funny, like with the Terrifier movies, like generally I wouldn't care for a movie like that, but there's just something like really appealing about the art character though that like draws me into it, and like I enjoy like
Yes,
all like the fucking asinine shit that he does, like just sitting there
yeah.
playing with a horn and everything, and doing stupid smiling and shit. I just like I don't know. I just find it fascinating. Like I don't think the Terrifier films are some like amazing like cinema to watch, but I just think they're fun for what they are. They're
Yeah, I
so
agree.
over the top and outrageous, and like you could tell with the second movie they had a lot more money to work with, which is why you have a longer movie with more in the movie.
Yeah.
But they probably could have made the second movie about 20 minutes shorter,
Yeah,
and
I agree.
like they just went a little happy with the budget, I guess, which is it's cool to see that stuff, but I just feel like the second movie just overdid it just a little too much. It's still not a bad movie though. I enjoyed Terrifier 2 for what it is.
Yeah, I really like it. But yeah, it is long though. Kind of too long.
Because like I mean, I'm also the type of person like I generally need a good story to get me watching a movie. And then like all the kills, the blood and the guts, that comes afterwards. That's just extra for me to watch. Like I need a good story. If the story's not good, then am I really just watching this for people getting killed? Like what's the point?
Yeah,
Like
that's it, right?
I always need a good story, but like, that doesn't mean that the Terrifier movies are written badly or anything. It doesn't have enough story and substance there for me to really be like, these are some great movies. But no, the Terrifier movies, they serve their purpose though.
Yeah, they do. Rosie likes the first Terrifier better. Yeah.
I probably do too, actually. Thinking about that, like the second one's fun. It's just a little bit long, a little over excessive at certain times, but that is the whole point of Terrifier and Art the Clown. To gross you out and be ridiculous, basically. That's the whole concept.
Basically, yeah, it is.
Because like you know what I love? Like one thing I really like in the first one is when he kills that one girl and he like cuts her skin off and he puts it on himself and he's like walking up the staircase and he's like all feeling sexy because he's wearing this girl's skin and it's just fucked up, man.
It is, yeah.
Oh, you know what, man? It's so funny that we're watching this right now. I just sent you this movie. I just sent her a package for her birthday, like last week. And I sent her
Yeah.
some movies, but I threw in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake on DVD. I just
Oh,
remembered
nice.
that. Like, I actually sent that to her. Like, sitting there thinking, like, because she said she's getting ready to set up now. And I'm like, wait a second, I just sent her this movie. I forgot about that. And how do you feel about this little boy in this movie?
Ah, I don't know. Like,
I mean, he doesn't have like a big part in it, but I
No,
kind of feel like, what's the point of having him in this movie? Like, what's the significance of this
yeah,
character?
no. It
But it
just
doesn't ruin anything though. Like having him
no, it
in the
doesn't ruin
movie.
it for me, but it's like, yeah, like why is he here?
Yeah,
But
because he
you
it's
do
he
kind
doesn't
of
have a
feel
lot of
bad for the
dialogue,
kid.
but it does seem like they use him to have a reason to have them introduced into the house. Because like I mean the kids are going on like no information right now
Yeah.
of like where they're at or what's going on, and that little kid's the only one that can give them any kind of info.
I
And like
always
they're
wonder
obviously asking them questions and shit.
I always wonder that too. Why did they put this kid in?
I think they just wanted to make the family a bit bigger, the Sawyer family.
Yeah,
That's like
maybe.
the only thing I can think of because, you know, in the original film, what do we have? Like three characters. You got Grandpa, Nubbins, and Leatherface, really. That's about it.
Yeah.
I think they were trying to extend the family as much as they could in this one. Because even the Texas Chainsaw, the beginning, there's a lot more family that you see in that movie.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that one.
Funny, like the one annoying guy is the only one that has any kind of logic. He just keeps saying like, "Yo, we should just get going here." Like, it's like you know, you think everybody would be like, "Yeah," but the one girl cannot get over the fact that somebody blew their head off in the car. So that's why we're sticking around at the fucking Saw house.
Yeah, that'd be pretty fucking horrific, yeah, but like try to get over it.
I mean, yeah, it's not easy to deal with. Like someone just blew their head off in their car, but
The rest of them are fine, you know.
yeah, like
Just
I just
wondering.
think I would be driving that van to a hospital right now. Is what I'd be
Yeah,
doing. Or at least I'd be trying to do that or something. Even if the tires are flat and we're out of gas, I'd still be trying to get to a hospital.
yeah, I'd be trying to drive that fucking van no matter what down the
Even
road.
if there's no wheels on it, I'm still gonna try. I'm not gonna sit out in the middle of nowhere and then come up on this random house that looks like a motel.
What do you think of the look of Leatherface in this one?
It's pretty good overall. I mean, I don't know who plays the character, but
I
whoever
forget
that
his
actor
name though.
is, he has the size advantage and everything to make the character look very intimidating. But I
Yeah,
do like the style of his mask. The mask looks pretty good. The rest of the outfit, everything looks pretty accurate overall. I really, yeah, I really had no issues with the Leatherface character.
yeah, Russell. Yeah, I remember that in the prequel. Yeah, how he lost his leg and how Hoyt
You know,
lost his two front teeth. Yeah,
it's funny you bring that up because like I remember like the first time I saw the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in the beginning, and I saw him with legs. I was like, "Oh, he's gonna lose his legs, isn't he?" Because he has no legs in the other movie.
yeah,
It was just a matter of how brutal is it gonna be for this guy to lose his legs, and it was fucking rough.
it was. Yeah, even when he gets his teeth. Yeah,
I just love the reason for it too, which is no good reason. He's just like, you know what? Get over here. Let's cut off his legs. Like just for no fucking reason. He like just got his like his teeth knocked out. And he's like, well, let's get rid of these legs too, for no fucking reason. And I think he tells Leatherface too. He's like, hold him down. Like so he's gonna be
yeah.
squirming around. Hold him down. But I don't know if you realize or not, but the in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, at the beginning when Hoyt kills the real sheriff. The guy who's playing the sheriff is the same guy from Devil's Rejects that is with the banjo band. Not Jeffrey Lewis, but the other guy with the long blonde hair.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember in Devil's Rejects when
Yeah, I remember.
Otis goes to take those two guys out to go dig up the guns in the ground,
Yeah.
and they're convinced that they're gonna get shot to death or whatever, and the one guy gets shot in the neck. It's that guy. It's the same actor.
Okay, I never know. Well, it's
Like
been a
he's
while
not.
since I've seen the first or the beginning.
Yeah, I mean he's also not exactly like a big name actor. Like it took me a while to figure that out because like when one day I was watching, I was like, oh, that's the same guy from Devil's Reject. Which is he's the guy who ends up getting his face cut off. And when Otis comes back to the hotel, he opens up the door.
Yeah,
He's wearing the face. It's the same guy.
that's a great movie. Zodiac says it's Lou Temple.
Lou Temple, yeah, like he's been in some Rob Zombie films, like obviously Devil's Rejects, but he's like one of those small
Actors that
character
he kind
actors
of
that you'll see.
comes up every once in a while. You'll see him. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you just like you'll randomly see him and shit. Like I think he was in Rob Zombie's 31 too. I think he was in that movie. I know one thing's for sure. When I was taught when I was a kid, you knock on someone's door before you walk in there, no matter what. You knock on the fucking door. You don't just go, oh, well, you know what? No one's answering. I think I should just walk in here.
I know, right?
I've never done that in my life. Like when I
You
was a
just
kid, I always knocked on the door for my friends. I never walked in anyone's house.
yeah, you're basically like breaking an entry.
Yeah, I mean,
You just
you're
walk
walking
in.
in uninvited. And if someone starts flipping out and you have no idea why, it's even more
It's-
ignorant. Like,
yeah, I wonder why they're freaking out.
but that should be like one common thing that most people should know is like you don't walk into someone's house. Like that should be like one common thing you should know. And yeah, if you don't know that at all, then I don't know how you were raised, I guess. You were
Huh.
raised differently, but it's whatever. Got random pigs walking around the house. I do like that the house isn't full of bones and like feathers and wings and all types of animal parts. It just looks
Yeah,
like an old regular rundown house, which is probably what it
yeah,
should look like.
yeah. I like that in the original though. It just adds so much like
But with the original, with
creepiness
all the
to it.
bones in it, like that's got its own thing going on. Like that
Yeah,
works.
exactly.
But I feel like it was a wise choice to not have the set full of
Yeah.
bones too.
So you're just not like doing the exact same thing over again. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they could have did that, but I feel like they might have overdid that if they did that. Damn, he just got the mallet to the back of the head. This is where we really. This is like the first time we see Leatherface.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is fucking intimidating, dude. He is big as shit too, man. He
Fuck
looks
yeah.
like I don't even know who played him, but he looks like a legit wrestler. Like his shoulders are so broad they barely get through the doorway. Let's see who played that guy.
I forget his name now.
I'm gonna look it up.
But yeah, he did play a good Leatherface for sure.
Um, so this was released on January. Oh wait, I'm looking up the wrong one. No, no, I got the right one here. January 4th. What the fuck? Yo, I think this was a wrestler that played him.
Oh, he was a wrestler.
I think it was a wrestler.
Okay.
Um, yes. Why can't I find his name? It's fucked up.
It's like random pigs walking through the house.
Yeah, right. I like that shit though. It's
Yeah,
got its own thing going on for the set. Like everything just looks dirty and run down, like it should.
yeah.
Andrew Brinaris, I can't even say this last name. Bryneriarski? Bryneriarski. I think it's Bryneriarski. Andrew Bryneriarski.
Okay.
That's a tough name right there.
Yeah. I remember his last name was, yeah, it was hard to pronounce. But okay, Tyler.
I'm
Byrne.
trying to just get more info on this guy to see if he was a legit
Also, yeah, Tyler
wrestler.
Maine, yeah, he was a wrestler.
Yeah, he's 5 foot or 6'5". That's funny. He's actually from Philadelphia, where I'm from.
He's 6'5".
Yeah, but he's 6'5", and let's look at his career. Oh, so he's not a wrestler. He's just an actor. He's an actor slash bodybuilder. That's what he is.
Okay.
But apparently he was in Batman Returns back in
I think it
'92.
was that big, huge guy where Michael Keaton puts that bomb on him, like the dynamite on him, and then kicks him
Yeah,
and it blows up. I think that might have been him because that was like the biggest guy in the film, I think.
dude, I think you're right. Damn, you know that movie better than I do.
Well, yeah, I used to watch that movie all the time when I was like, young.
Oh yeah, he was a linebacker in Any Given Sunday. He was in Pearl Harbor,
Yeah, Bone
Texas Texas
Tomahawk is a
Chainsaw.
great movie. Rosie, yeah, it's a great movie. Kurt
But
Russell,
but apparently he came back for a Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning to play Leatherface again.
yeah, same guy. Okay, yeah,
But
thought so.
like I don't know, like there's something he really brings to the character, especially in Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning after he's let loose from his job at the slaughterhouse and he's just walking home with the chainsaw in his hand down the street and just the way he moves, there's like a charisma about it. It's just like, yo, that's somebody you don't fuck with. Like you just
Yeah,
stay far away from that motherfucker.
yeah, that's right. He gets let go from the meat place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they're yelling at him and he's chopping away and they're like, yo, you idiot. The slaughterhouse is closing down, and he's just like, I'm gonna kill this guy now. Just hits him with
Yeah,
that mallet.
yeah, he kills him. Yeah, that's right.
And then he
It's
ends up
been a
like
while
I
since
think
I've
he
seen it,
crushes like the
but
boss's head too. I think he like smashes his head in with a sledgehammer.
yeah, yeah, fucks him up.
But then he just walks home like fuck it, I'm going home.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically what drove him over the edge, I think, right?
Yeah, this
Yeah.
scene here is a little disturbing because we actually see Leatherface getting some sewing done with some skin. And he's got like fishing line, like he's got all his shit set up nicely. Like it's fucking disturbing.
I don't
It seems like
remember.
some scenes throughout this movie, like they give you like a black and white kind of look at some stuff. Like it's not in black and white. It's just sometimes things get so like raggedy and dirty looking. It almost comes off as black and white.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I like that too, actually.
It's funny. They just wrapped her up in saran wrap.
Yeah. But it's funny though, because like the sheriff gets the kids to do all the dirty work, and he
Yeah.
just sits there like, you got brain matter spilling out at the top there.
The hell does it matter if you put her in the trunk? Yeah, love it.
Yeah, get it over with. Oh, finding dentures in a bird's nest.
Yeah, she's still wet back here. Oh my God.
It's fucked up.
What have you boys been doing with this dead body? Oh,
No, man. I think this is the last one. Like, I joined in like the middle of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, and then we started watching the remake.
yeah. Yeah, last night I did 2 movies and then tonight. And then last week I did 4 movies in a row. Fuck.
Did you
Six,
really?
yeah, 6 hours straight.
That's not bad though. I don't know if
No,
I could do that. I don't know if I could ever pull that off, but it's possible. I know that.
I probably won't do that for a while, but oh man, I
But
was
I
drunk
really
as
do think I'm
fuck.
gonna try like the double feature thing one day, where I can just do like 2 movies in one night, see how that goes.
Yeah, man, I would fall asleep.
Yeah,
Well, it depends.
I went to a movie screening a few years ago where it was 24 hours and they didn't announce any of the movies and the flyer just said what the hell did the flyer say? I got it around here somewhere.
Yeah.
It basically says something like, like we are not announcing any of the movies tonight, but tonight you were going to be watching sci-fi, horror, and exploitation from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. It said something like that.
Cool.
And I've seen movies at their screenings before, so like I knew what I was going to be watching was going to be up my alley. I just didn't know what movies.
Mm.
Ended up watching 14 movies in 24 hours,
Oh
all
wow.
random horror films. Like they screened the original Creep Show,
Mm.
Friday the 13th Part 4 was another movie they showed. We watched Elm Street Dream Warriors, like just a bunch of different like great horror movies.
Oh, that's
And I
awesome.
stayed up for the entire thing though. I kept going to the store and buying coffee and coming back and then golfing that down. But so many people were asleep by the end of it though. Like even at the end when they put the lights on, like they had guys in there like waking people up, like "Yo, it's time to go home." Like, but I stayed up for the entire thing. That's
I
the
don't know. Some nights
most
I go
movies
to
I ever
sleep.
watched in one day is 14 movies.
Yeah, that's a lot. Wow.
Yeah,
All
I don't
great
know if I
ones
could do
though.
that again though.
That'd be great to see Creep Show in the theater, like a
I
screen.
remember like that was the movie they started the festival with. It was like bang right away. We're watching Creep Show, and then they did show some other films like really low budget. Like there was even a couple of films I never even heard of before that they showed.
Hmm.
Now the other kids know that one of their friends has been kidnapped.
Mm.
And the one girl's trying to distract that guy in the wheelchair while the other one's in the house trying to find some kind of evidence or something.
Random those jars with the pictures in them.
Yeah. Oh my God. All that shit hanging from the ceiling. You got pantyhose, beef jerky, and fly strips. I don't know, man. That is a fucked up kitchen. And Leatherface has got a glory hole that he's looking through right now. I'd be out of that kitchen pretty damn quick. As soon as I saw that meat hanging from the ceiling, like it's time to go.
Yeah, the bug segment. Rosie, yeah, I can't watch that one either in Creep Show. Fuck, I hate it.
Oh, the last one with the cockroaches.
Yeah,
Dude, that is nasty at the end when he's like dead and like the cockroaches start coming out of his neck,
neck. Yeah,
all pouring all over the place. It's like fuck. They actually use real cockroaches in that movie too.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, there's real cockroaches in that movie.
Yeah, Creep Show too, yeah. The
Yeah, first
Hitchhiker
two
one, that was
creep
great.
shows they're fun movies, man. They never get old.
No, they're awesome. I can watch them all the time.
Sorry, sorry, Rosalie. Imagine seeing that motherfucker. Jesus Christ. Let me shut the door. He's got a chainsaw. He can't get through that. Damn, he cut through that easy. This guy's only lifeline is the tire iron right now. God damn.
Against the chainsaw.
Yeah, right.
And the guy is like 6'5" and fucking huge.
Dude, the way he cuts through that front door. He cuts through that front door like it was never there.
Yeah.
I, that is a fucked up scene right there. Dude just lost his leg. Cape Fear remake is dog bollocks. I enjoy the Cape Fear remake with Robert De Niro and Juliette Lewis. I haven't seen it in a very long time, but I've always enjoyed that one. Ah, I hate seeing fingernails getting ripped off. Don't do that. You're supposed to leave the fingernails on. So now, yeah, she comes back to the van, and she's the only one that really understands that there's a problem. But she's in such a panic. She's just trying to get the damn van up and going. She don't want to even tell them what's going on. She just wants to get out of there. Yeah, Jessica Biel does a really good job at selling that terrified act or terrified girl. Just
Does, yeah.
really good job at that. You kids taking drugs. Now that's when the house looks pretty cool, and they got that giant spotlight going through the back of it at night. You see all the light that's looming through all the windows.
Yeah, it looks great.
Oh, I forgot this scene. He puts him on a hook, and he takes a bunch of salt and he jams it into
Yeah.
his
Oh,
leg wound. Oh, it's got to burn.
that's brutal.
Oof. I don't know how he's still awake. I'd be asleep in shock right now. I'd be passed the fuck out. And he jams that salt into the wound, like, oh my god. That's something you don't see in horror movies often. People sticking salt in wounds.
You know?
And then he wraps the leg up. Like he's doing this too. Like he knows what he's doing. Like he's done this a couple hundred times. You know?
Yeah. You see their place all the skin hanging everywhere.
Yeah, and he's just wrapping up the leg. Like no problem, buddy. I got you taken care of. Put some salt into your wound. I'm gonna wrap you up and get you out of here.
I'm gonna cut your face off.
Yeah. I'm gonna wear your face in a little bit. Just don't worry, you're taken care of. Oh yeah, timestamp is 49:25 is where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm behind. I might just speed up a little bit.
I mean, it's not like you're like 2 minutes behind, or at least I don't think you are.
Right back.
Oh no, Leatherface is sitting down with his sewing machine. Yeah, grown ass man working on a sewing machine, sewing up some faces right now. Oh yeah, that's when we see his face. He's got syphilis. His nose is all like rotted away and shit. For some reason, I always think that like when we see his face, I always feel like it's in the other movie and not this one.
Yeah, you see it briefly.
Yeah. 'Maybe she was a bit in the middle. Maybe you ought to move a little over the middle.
28 years later, what's that, Rosie? Oh, it's a zombie movie. Like
Yeah,
28 years?
28. Wait, you're talking about 28 days later? Or wait,
Okay.
there's a 28 years later coming out. That really, that doesn't really surprise me though nowadays. But is there really a 28 years later coming out? Because I actually like the first two movies. I like 28 Days Later, and everybody hates that movie.
I don't
And
hate it. I like it.
I just hear like a lot of people sometimes like, yeah, I didn't really like 28 Days Later. Like I guess I don't hear people saying they hate it. I just hear people saying they don't like it.
Yeah.
But
It's
I
not, it's
always
not the
enjoyed like I
worst.
remember when I first saw that movie in the theater, like there were certain scenes in that movie that really got to me. Like, I wasn't used to fast zombies like that, even though I've seen
No,
them
I know,
before,
right?
but at the same time, it in a way, 28 Days Later, in a way, it's not really a zombie movie because the infected in the movie are going on like they're infected with a rage virus that makes them just like
Yeah.
completely rabid. So they're not exactly like looking for brains. They're just
Flesh
looking
eating
to
zombies.
kill people and basically like bite people and I don't know. It does look like they want to eat flesh. But overall it seems like they're just more about just killing people and running people down. So like it's not exactly your traditional zombies, but yes, they are. I guess you could refer to them as zombies. but they're just not your traditional zombies. That's all.
No.
They're just, they're fast, they're running around, and I
I
think it works for the movie. I think it works
yeah.
really good. Just a
I
lot of
find
people are not able to accept fast running zombies.
no. I find it kind of scary if zombies run at you. If they're too slow, man, you can just avoid them easier.
Yeah, yeah, you could like push your way through. You should be able to. But yeah, the
Unless
thought
there's
of
like a
scary like fast
lot of
moving zombies is like, like what the fuck? You don't know where they're coming from, especially like you got a horde of zombies running fast. Like you're screwed, man.
yeah.
So 28 years later is in the works. That doesn't surprise me, but hopefully it'll be good because I did enjoy 28 Days Later, and I did like 28 Weeks Later too. I thought it was a decent movie for what it was.
Mm.
Like they're not like to
To
me like
rewatch that.
they're not like amazing movies, but I feel like they're really good for what they are. But like another thing is like when 28 Days Later came out, it was like 2002. It was like I feel like 28 Days Later kind of revived the zombie genre though. Like there was really nothing
There
zombie
wasn't,
related at
no.
that time that was really coming out. It was like the whole zombie thing was like hitting a dead end in a way. And then they came out with that, and then the Dawn of the Dead remake came out 2 years later in
Right.
2004. And then Shaun of the Dead
Yeah,
came out like
Shaun
a
of the Dead,
year
yeah.
later, and then it was like the zombie thing really took off.
It did, yeah, you're right.
But I mean, I don't know. Like, I really did enjoy the Walking Dead in the beginning there, like probably the first 4 or 5 seasons I really got into. But by the time I got to the eighth and ninth season, it felt like a chore to watch the show. It was just
Oh,
like,
really?
oh, The Walking Dead's on this week. Great. Like it just like I hopefully someday I can go back and actually finish the entire series and know exactly what happened at the end. But I just got to the point with The Walking Dead where I was like, this is just played out. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, I never got into that show. I watched maybe the first season, I think.
The first season's only like 6 episodes, but I still think it's the best season as far as like just acting and writing goes, and just everything about it was so like it was new and mysterious, and it was just we got a TV show that's horror related. It was just like it was a big thing when that came out. I
Yeah,
remember they
I
also like when
remember.
the first episode came out, they screened it on Halloween night. I remember that. And the second season's pretty good, third's pretty good, fourth is not bad, but it does start to by the time it hits that fifth season, it starts to lose it a bit. It's
Oh,
still
okay.
watchable, but it does lose it a bit. And by the time I got to the ninth season, I was just like, I can't do it no more. Like this show's just gonna keep running on forever, and I just can't keep up with it anymore. I'm not interested.
Yeah,
Like it probably should have ended after the 10th season. I think it went 12 or 13. I don't know, but I think that
13th
show should have
season.
ended a long time ago. And then they did all the spin-offs, and I gave that a chance. And I got like 2 or 3 episodes in, and I was like, I can't do it, dude. It's not interesting to me.
Yeah, I watched that spin-off one. What's it called?
The Fear of the Walking Dead?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I watched maybe 3 episodes of that. And-
I think they managed to get like 6 seasons out of that show too.
oh,
But like
really? Wow.
to me, like a spin-off should have been like a 1 season thing. Like spin-offs were supposed to
Mm,
be quick to the point, done and over with.
right.
But I guess, they must have looked at the ratings and the money they were making, and they were probably like, let's keep going, let's milk it.
Yeah, yeah,
So
exactly.
that's probably what happened there.
Um, yeah. I started watching Hannibal. That was pretty good.
You know what? I still need to see that show. I heard really good things about it. I haven't watched a single episode of that yet.
It's decent. Yeah.
I
I
always
think
hear good
I'm.
things about that and the Bates Motel show.
Yeah, I did like. I watched what? 3 seasons of that maybe, and then I started losing interest after. I don't
Yeah. But those are two shows I would like to catch up on someday. I haven't watched a single episode for yet.
yeah,
Go figure
curious
they
to
go to
see.
get out of there.
Yeah, I was
Go
just gonna
retire.
say, Rosalia Dexter. Yeah, I like that show. That was great.
Yeah, Dexter was pretty good, but I never actually finished it. I need to finish that.
No,
And then they did something. Didn't they do something new recently, like a movie or something like that?
a movie. I don't know, but
Or maybe they did like a new season. They did something new with Dexter, and I
yeah, it
didn't
was
watch it
called
though.
New Blood or something. I watched that. It was
Yeah,
good.
that's it. But I can understand why they would try to revive Dexter and shows like that because like those shows were doing good at the time,
Yeah,
and they probably shouldn't have been canceled when they were canceled.
no, I like Jennifer Carpenter in that show. She's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. I
So,
don't own any of the Dexter seasons, but I gotta pick up a box set of that eventually. That's such an easy watch.
yeah, I used to own them and then I sold them. Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what this Friday 13th like series is gonna be like.
Oh man, he turns around with her boyfriend's face on his. Oh man.
That'd be so fucked up to see. Like,
What were you just talking about? Friday the 13th series?
yeah, like the new one they're coming out with.
They're coming out with it. I thought they were doing a new movie.
What?
I thought they were coming out with a new Friday the 13th movie. They're doing a series?
Yeah, a prequel, I guess, to it. I'm pretty sure that's how they're going to go with it.
I haven't been paying attention to the news, I guess, but I don't know how I feel about a series for Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I just kind of want to see like how it is, and then
I mean, I'm gonna give it a shot because that's my favorite slasher franchise of all time, but I just can't wrap
is
my
it?
head around Jason Voorhees being in a television series.
Yeah.
But I guess it's gonna be called Crystal Lake.
Yeah, Crystal Lake. Yeah,
It's gonna be coming to Peacock. Well, only thing I can say is I'm gonna be open minded. I'll be open minded about it. I just don't like the idea.
yeah, same. We'll see.
I don't know. There's something about the Friday the 13th franchise that just doesn't jive as a TV series to me. Who knows? They'll probably prove me wrong.
Mm.
Hopefully they do. Because I mean, overall, like I pretty much like everything in the Friday series or the franchise. Like even like Jason Goes to Hell, I still manage to have fun with that movie, even though it's a complete piece of shit. Like
Yeah,
I still
you
know
can
how to
have
have fun
fun
with
with
that
it.
movie.
Yeah, you can
And even
laugh
like
at it.
Jason X is not the best movie either, but it has its moments and there's things about it that makes it watchable for me.
Yeah,
And
there
when I
is.
go
There's
through all the
some
movies,
good
it's like
kills.
I always find something good about all the movies in the franchise, even if they're obviously bad. I always find something enjoyable.
Mm.
Like I would probably say Jason Takes Manhattan might be my very last favorite film of the franchise. And there's a lot of reasons for that. It's just, the film is literally not filmed in New York and terrible character development. And you see
Yeah,
Vancouver in the background and not New York City in certain scenes. And it's
but
got a
the
fun opening
characters.
to it with the fact that we're going to be on a boat and everything. But I just remember like when that trailer came out, I was under the impression that Jason's going to be hacking up teenagers in the
I
middle
know,
of New York
right?
City. But no, we're on a boat. Like, great.
There was so much they could have done with it, but anyways, they didn't have the budget. And but the thing is, I think that was the biggest budget they ever had for a Friday 13th film as well.
You're probably right because it's the first one that really goes out of a campground. And we're on like a boat setting and everything, and that definitely costs some money to be on a big boat like that. And
It would
so
be.
yeah, I could see that being like a bigger budget than the previous films in the franchise. And I think that was the last one that Paramount was willing to work on. I
Yeah.
think they sold the franchise after that film.
Yeah.
Yeah, Breaking Bad, man, that's definitely a show that took me by surprise. Which I watched it out of boredom, and next you know it, like when I discovered Breaking Bad, I think it was like on the third season, and I remember I ended up like binging the first two seasons and made my way up to catching up to the show. But that was a hard show to be like, yo, I gotta stop watching this and eat dinner. Like it was like
Oh
literally
man.
like every time a new episode was coming, I was like, all right, I'm watching the next one. Like,
Yeah.
I should probably go take a shower and eat food. No, I'm gonna keep watching this. Like
Yeah.
it just kept me watching.
It does, man. That's probably my favorite series. Yeah.
As far as like a regular cable series, like a cable TV series, yeah, it's definitely one of the best out there, like all time. Now, I would if Game of Thrones had a better ending, I would say you have an argument there. But Game of Thrones, like that was a really good show until they decided to butcher the hell out of that show in the last season. So that's why I would probably give it to Breaking Bad over Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I like Sons of Anarchy too. That was good. And
Yeah, I never finished that show. I only watched the first two seasons of that. How many seasons do they have?
six, I think.
Yeah, I gotta catch up on that show.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, I
It's
like the whole vibe
crazy.
it has going for it.
And I like Vikings too. That was a great show.
Yeah, Vikings was really good. I wasn't too crazy about how they took the last season and divided it though. They were like, we're
Yeah,
gonna show
no.
you half of it now, and then next year we're gonna give you the other half.
Yeah.
But it's not the end of the world. We still managed to have, the Ivar character. I was expecting him to die at the end, and I don't
Iva.
know.
Yeah, the
Yeah, I was
bone.
expecting Ivar the Boneless to just die like in war at the end there, but like doesn't wait, he still dies, I think, at the end, but I don't know. I was expecting him to go out in like a like a blaze of glory or something, and it just didn't happen. But Vikings is a very good show.
The Wire. Yeah, The Wire was alright. I never seen all of it, but I've seen the first season of The Wire. I liked it.
I watched all 5 seasons of that, and I would say the first 3 seasons are extremely good, really fucking good. Fourth
Mm,
season's not bad either, but the fifth season just goes into a direction where it just was, at least I wasn't expecting. And it does wrap some things up that were left loose, but just certain ends for certain characters and the way that show ended was just very uneventful. But overall, it's like as a whole, like The Wire, though, it is a really good show.
okay.
It's like it's about
Well,
crime in Baltimore,
yeah,
basically, and apparently like the creators and like the guy who like really created it and directed every episode, like he actually went up to real gang members in Baltimore and were like, yo, do you want to be in a TV show?
really?
Because we need people to be in a TV show that look authentic, and we figured, hey, we'll just ask the guys on the street selling drugs. So you guys want to be in the show? Because if you want to be in the show, you got to sign a contract and you got to make sure you're here every day. And explaining all this shit to random drug dealers and being in the show. But apparently they had
Wow.
real life drug dealers on that show.
Huh.
This part here where this dude's still hanging. and he's playing the piano with his toes on his one foot that he has.
Yeah.
It's fucked up. And she wants to help him out, but there's nothing she can do for him.
No. Make it worse if she tries taking him off.
Yeah, she's completely powerless to help him out. Basement's still dripping wet.
And she's like, "What's wrong with you fucking people?" And he's like, "What? There's nothing wrong with us."
Yeah. What's wrong with us? What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, The Warriors. That's a great film, Russell. Yeah.
I still need to pick up The Wanderers, though. I haven't seen that in so long.
Oh, I've never seen it. Never heard of it.
It's like a gang movie, but like it kind of takes place in the 50s. Like that style of
Okay.
like gang movie, I guess you could say. Like the leather coats and the slick back hair and everything.
Yeah, like the
But
Greasers.
it's got I think it's Richard Pryor's in that or some
Okay, cool.
I forget exactly the cast. I haven't seen it in so long, but it's like a classic basically. It really is like a classic movie.
Hmm. I'll check it out.
I think Gene Wilder might be in that, or am I thinking of something else? I gotta look this up now. The Wanderers, 1979. Karen Allen was in it. No, I'm thinking of something else with some other actors in. I got my actors mixed up with other movies right now. Oh, Richard Price was in it, not Richard Pryor. What the fuck was I thinking here? Ken Foree was actually in this too. But yeah, that's definitely a movie I'd like to see again. The Wanderers. Yeah, it came out in 1979. God, the basement is so disgusting. Are they actually in The Wanderers? What the hell is the movie I'm thinking about? It's gonna drive me crazy now. It's like a prison movie or something. Is that the same movie? I gotta think of this movie. I gotta find this movie that I'm thinking
This movie gave you nightmares, May Ange?
I know. The movie I'm thinking about is called Stir Crazy with Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor. That was the movie I got mixed up with The Wanderers.
Okay. Never seen that one either.
It's like Gene Wilder, Richard Pryor, they're like prison cellmates, and it's like a dry comedy, I guess you could say.
Okay.
But it's not a bad movie. It's just for some reason I get that mixed up with The Wanderers. This movie does a good job at giving people nightmares, that's for sure. This whole franchise, just the whole Leatherface character and everything that the Sawyer family's about, which is meat. Human meat.
Well, they're like cannibals,
Yeah, and they're feeding the
basically.
town human meat too. I'm gonna get a little yard with a shed, unlike the first one.
Pretty sure they make, well, in the first one, they make like furniture out of like your bones and your skin, and like
Yeah,
lampshades.
yeah. You know, apparently, like Ed Gein, the serial killer or whatever, like that's what he
Yeah,
did. Like he was like really into making shit out of body parts.
that's
Like
so
that's how
fucked up.
so like he was so far gone out of his mind, and he was living by himself.
Yeah,
Guy just lost his damn mind and was making fucking lampshades and all types of shit out of body parts.
yeah. I find a lot of movies took that inspiration of Ed Gein.
Yeah,
Silence of the
definitely.
Lambs and um, what else?
Ain't that funny though? Like, you know, we look at these people in a certain way, but we're willing to take their actions and put it into a movie or something just to make some money. But no, we would never think about doing what they would do. You know?
Right?
But you know, like Mayan says that like this movie scared her, but like I can relate to that, but more of what the original movie. Like when I was a kid, I don't know how we had it in our house, but we had the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre on a dubbed tape. So it was dubbed off of the TV and it was missing the beginning of it. So every time I put it on, it would always just start right where they're at the van with Nubbins. And he's like cutting his hand and everything.
Yeah,
So I always watched it from there and just assumed that's where the movie started, where they're in the van. And that just, everything about that movie felt so authentic and real.
it
And I used to
does.
think
Yeah,
like, oh, this must have happened down in Texas. And I'm sitting like, you know, sitting there thinking as a kid, don't go to Texas. You know, like, you know, you go to Texas, you'll run into this family. Yeah, I really thought that shit was real. It definitely gave me some kind of nightmares too. That's for sure. Kane Hodder is in an Ed Gein movie. Which one was that? I know he's not in the Steve Railsback movie, or at least I don't think that's him. I think there is two Ed Gein movies though. I think there's like both with the same title. I think. I
the
know I
hell's
have
that?
one of them.
It's disturbed. Uh,
You
which
ever
one?
seen the
The
Ed Gein movie?
no.
There's one that was made in 2000 called In the Light of the Moon, which is also known as Ed Gein.
Huh.
And that's the one with Steve Railsback. That one, in my opinion, is not bad. But there is another one that's like really questionable.
Oh, okay. Check that out. Yeah. Psycho was also
2007.
based off him as well, I think.
Yeah, yeah, Kane Hodder was in the 2007 movie, and unfortunately, that was not really a great movie.
That
Michael
one wasn't.
Berryman's in it too. Damn, it's
Uh,
actually got a really good cast, but this was just not the better film. Or at least it wasn't, in my opinion. What the fuck? The fuck is this weirdo doing on his channel?
which Hills Have Eyes, Rosie? The original or the remake? I find the remake's more disturbing than the original.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. There is like plenty of good things about the original. I just feel
Yeah.
like it has a very weak ending though. The ending of the original movie could have been so much better, but the original or the remake for The Hills Have Eyes just I feel like it just has so much more going for it. Better looking set pieces.
Mm,
Just I don't know,
yeah.
just overall just a better film. It really is. Like I almost hate to admit it. But you know what? I actually have the remake of the second movie. There's a second Hills Have Eyes remake or whatever for part two.
Yeah.
I've watched it before, but I don't remember it being all that great, and I need to go back and watch it again because I can't
Yeah.
really remember it. But
I don't think
people
I've
are
seen
always
it.
like, "Don't even bother with it." But like, I have it in a set with the first film.
Mm.
Is that it? Yeah, I think you can get this online, like for like under $15. It's The Hills Have Eyes 1 and 2 on Blu-ray. It comes in like a little slide box like this.
Oh, that's cool. Nice.
But I think you can get this on Amazon for like 10 or $15. And yeah, it's got the unrated remake in it, and it's got the remake for the second film.
Oh, okay. Nice.
But I'll look that up real quick, see how much it's going for today. But I remember that's like one of the reasons why I bought it because it was so cheap. And I was like, I don't have the remake, and this is cheap. Let me just buy it.
Yeah, same director who made High Tension. Yeah, Russell. Yeah. That's a good movie too.
Wait, the same guy who directed High Tension directed the Hills Have Eyes remake? Is that what you're saying?
So,
It looks like the price went up on it. It's like $25. Or wait a second, is that $25? Wow, never mind. It looks like I think it's out of print now. It goes for like $60. Wow. Yeah, when I got that thing, it was like $15, I think, but it looks like that set is rose went up in price. It's like $60 for this now. But you could still
oh
get
wow.
the first film on Blu-ray for like $15, it looks like.
Okay, that's not bad.
Which that's like the average price. But I was saying earlier how like, it's spending $20 for a new movie, like that shit's out the window now. It's like the regular is like
Yeah.
28, $30. Like, it's everything's just going up over the years.
I was curious to know how much the original Halloween film is going for on VHS. It's going for $1,000 on eBay.
For like regular, I think it's like a Medusa tape, if I remember.
Yeah, something like that.
I think
Yeah.
it says like Medusa. It's one of those Medusa entertainment tapes or something. Like, oh man, I gotta look that up now too. That's crazy. Like, I never had Halloween on VHS, but I've seen so many people throughout YouTube that presented that tape before.
It
I'll look
used.
that up.
I remember when I was young, you couldn't find it anymore. Well, I remember at the move at one movie store I used to rent they had like the best selection of horror films, but they had a copy of it at that movie store, but anywhere else you would go to, you wouldn't be able to find it.
I remember like
Just
in the
not
late
there.
90s going into the 2000s when DVD was like already a big thing.
Mm.
And I was like, remember, like I was getting like this is like when I was like early into collecting. I'm like, I want the original Halloween on DVD. Like, why can't I find this? It took me like 5 years to find it on DVD. And one day I was at Walmart. It was like maybe 2006, 2007. I just saw it sitting on the shelf. I'm like, wow, there's fucking Halloween. I can finally own this movie now. It took me forever for some reason to find that on DVD.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at the VHS tapes right now. And yeah, dude, wow, there's one on here for almost $900.
Oh, it's crazy, man.
There's
Like
one on here
honestly,
for 1,500, 500. Wow, there's one on here for 500, and they went and got it graded, which actually increases the value. And it's graded 9.4 out of 10, which means that thing is mint fucking condition.
mm,
Like they went and
wow.
got a graded case on it and everything,
Yeah.
which is the smartest thing somebody could have did. Because when you get it
Well, yeah.
graded, it costs good money to get it graded, but it will increase your value.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You just got
Crazy.
to be willing to put that big money out there to increase the value. But generally, it looks like this VHS tape, it looks like the cheapest one on average is about $80. And those aren't even mint condition.
No. No, they're not. No. But
But as
yeah,
soon as you
80
said
bucks
that,
for
like
VHS.
yeah, right. But as soon as you said Halloween and VHS tape, I thought of that Medusa logo, and like I was right.
Yeah.
Like it's at the very bottom there. Let's see if I can pull up the picture.
I forget.
Yeah, like the very bottom in white there, it says Medusa.
Yeah.
You see that right there? Or Media? Is that what it is?
Media.
Media?
Yeah.
I always thought it said
Um,
Medusa. It says
or
Media on
media.
there.
Yeah. What was it?
Media Home Entertainment. But yeah, if you have
Freddy's
that original
Revenge is
tape,
media too. Yeah.
yeah, you have that original tape though. You're sitting on a little bit of
A
decent
lot of
money.
money.
Yeah.
Um, look up. Check that movie on beta. See how much it is on beta.
Halloween beta tape.
Yeah. We used to own a beta, and I wish we s- saved all the movies we had on it because they would be worth a lot of money, I'd say now. We had the original like Ghostbusters on beta. And fuck, I wonder how much that would go for.
Probably good money. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't think I've
probably,
ever I don't think I've ever seen a Ghostbusters beta, but I would imagine it's probably worth some stupid money.
probably.
But it looks like there's Halloween beta movie Betamax videotape, $425.
Yeah, the VHS one is way more, but yeah, I mean that's still a lot of money too. 400.
I only see one right. Oh wait, never mind. There's a Betamax on here for $93. Here they come now. 125.
Mm, okay.
749. Jesus Christ. 800. Man, imagine spending that kind of money on a fucking tape. A
On a
tape that you
beta tape.
like I don't know if you remember though, like when I was younger, it seemed like VHS tapes were expensive. Like they
No,
were like
they
20, 30 bucks or so. I remember thinking like,
yeah,
I'll never have the
they
money
were,
for a
yeah.
movie. Like I used to think that like movies are so much money, I'll never have money for them.
I went to the pawn shop the other day and fucking I was looking they have like Super Nintendos and NES like the the Nintendo and those are going for like 100 and some dollars. So I'm like, holy fuck, I don't even think back in the day they were going for that. I think they
Yeah, I
were
wish I knew like I remember Nintendo games on average, they seemed like they went for around like 35, $40,
yeah, I remember when I was a
which was
kid.
actually a lot of money back then.
Yeah.
But I think that was like the going price. Because actually remember I remember one night my dad won the lottery, and he only won it for like $80 off of the TV, and he was like, "All right, you and your brother, I just won $80 from the lottery." He's like, "What do you guys want?"
Mm.
And me and my brother were like, "We want the Ninja Turtles video game," and like we went out and bought that. I remember it was like $40. And he was like,
Yeah.
I remember my dad paid the 39.99. We went home and played it all fucking night long. But yeah, like on average, I think Nintendo games were about $40 back in the day.
Yeah,
Like if
about
you wanted
that.
to buy a single console game.
So I remember I bought RoboCop, that NES game for $50 or something like that.
No, I believe it, man. You know what game I used to love playing a lot? The Jaws Nintendo game. It was so
Yeah,
hard to beat. I
I
only beat
loved it
that game
too.
2 times in my life, but it was so hard to beat, and I could never put the controller down because
Oh,
I would always get so close to the end level, and whenever I lost, I'd be like, "Nah, I'm gonna do it again because you're not gonna beat me." Like, I'd just be so frustrated. Like, I'm gonna beat this
yeah.
game. Eventually, I did it 2 times, but man, was it hard.
I never bet it, no. I never
Do you
wrapped
remember
it.
though, like,
Well,
do you remember like back in the day with having a Nintendo, if you got to a certain level and
you
it was
die,
time
you
to
have
go
to
to
do it
bed,
all
like,
over again.
yeah,
You
you
couldn't
couldn't
save
just
it.
turn off your system. Like, I used
No,
to leave my system on all night and go to sleep and come back to it in the morning and be like,
running.
all right, good, it didn't shut down. I can start right where I was. But there was
Yeah.
no memory cards back then, you know what I mean? Like, you couldn't
No, there
shut down a
wasn't no.
system. If you shut down the system, you lost your game that you
Yeah,
worked so
you
hard
have to
on.
start all over again. Yeah,
Yeah, that shit was frustrating, man.
Castlevania. Yeah, Rosie. I loved that game too when I was a kid.
You
That was,
remember having to blow into the cartridges when they didn't
yes.
work right, and you get all
Oh my
lightheaded, and you're
God.
like, "Whoa, I gotta take a break here." Like I'm playing. Oh man, good old days of playing video games.
Yeah. What else?
Like I
The Friday
eventually grew
13th
out of
series.
video games. Like after PS3, I was like, I'm just not really big into video games.
Mm. Every once in a while, I'll play a game, but not very often anymore.
Yeah, I'm not too big on them like I used to be.
I started playing Resident Evil 4 remake. It's okay. I don't play very often, but once in a while I'll play.
No, but the Resident Evil games are supposed to be pretty solid overall. I don't think I've ever played a single one.
Oh,
Or
really?
maybe I might have for PS1, maybe.
Yeah, like the original one.
I remember that and like Twisted Metal. Those were like the main horror games
Yeah,
for like
they were, yeah.
PS1. Twisted Metal, Resident Evil. I feel like there's something else I'm missing.
Um,
Are we at the end of this movie here?
yeah,
Yeah, we are at the last act. It's amazing. Like I don't know. Sometimes like I do like a watch party with somebody. It does amaze me how fast a movie can go by, especially when you're just sitting here like bullshitting with somebody.
yeah, exactly. I find it goes by fast. Like it seems like it goes by fast.
It does like for some reason too. I mean I do. It does seem like I do timestamp checks throughout it, but then like before I know it, I'm like, oh, we're already at 59 minutes. Like the movie's almost over.
Russell, first VHS tape I bought was Poltergeist. Cost over $100. Wow.
I believe it, dude. VHS tapes were not cheap. I remember like in our household we only had a couple because we ended up finding them in the bargain bin. Like I know the first tape I ever bought was Jaws. That was the first tape I ever owned. And then I had a House on Haunted Hill Vincent Price tape,
Oh, nice.
and I can't really remember like everything I had. I know I had like Batman and Batman Returns, but like I only ever bought the bargain bin stuff at the drugstore. Like they would have a bargain bin with like random movies in it, like VHS tapes, and it would be like $5. But if you wanted the newer ones, you had to have like 30, $40 ready. And
Yeah.
nobody had that kind of money. Like being a kid in the 90s, like if you had $30, like more than likely parents are gonna be like, where did you get that money? Like, just you,
Yeah.
being a kid, this you didn't have that kind of money.
No.
And like I remember you could take like 20 bucks and go to like a candy store and you would eat candy for like a week straight because $20 could get you that much candy.
Oh yeah, 5 cent candies back.
Yeah, right? Like all that stuff doesn't exist anymore, man, which is really a shame for the younger generations.
The first VCR your dad bought was 800 bucks, I believe it.
Dude, that does
Yeah.
sound very accurate. 800 bucks. Big ass machine too. Think big as
Yeah.
shit. Probably weighs more than you.
Yeah.
You know?
Right, the TVs back then too. Holy fuck.
Yeah, the big wooden floor TVs that's just sat
Yeah.
on the floor and never
Yeah.
moved ever again once you put it in place.
Yeah.
Giant
That
knob on the side going click, click, click.
was good. Oh man. Getting
But I
tired,
think
man.
I think we're gonna call it here.
Yeah, sounds good.
But
Thanks to everybody for joining or tuning in.
what's the next one you're doing? You got another one scheduled on here?
No, not yet.
Mm. Okay, well, what I'll do is, I mean, if you schedule something, I'm more than likely I'll see it pop up. Just hit the notification, but
Yeah.
I'll just stay in touch with you, and I don't know, whenever I see you streaming like this, I'll probably stop by and let you know if I have time to jump up on the panel or something.
Yeah, sounds good. Right on.
But yeah, other than that, if you want to plan something else out in the future, I'll just get in touch with you and let you know if I have time to join you again.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
All right.
Mm. All
Yeah,
right.
thanks for having me on, man. It's the first time I've really been on a stream with you and everything, and I
Mm.
do enjoy watching your reviews sometimes. Like I try to get to them. They could be a little lengthy, but I do
Yeah.
enjoy like especially I actually like out of all your reviews, I do really enjoy hearing you talk about the Elm Street films the most, it seems like. But just keep doing what you're doing, man. I like what you're doing with your channel. I think, you maybe you don't have enough recognition on your channel. I'm not too sure. I see you only have like 57 subscribers, which is not bad. It's better than having
Uh,
one, obviously.
I
But
don't really
everybody wants
care.
to get to that 100 mark at some point, which a lot of channels should be at that point. But I feel like what you're doing is pretty good stuff as far as like horror related stuff too. Like I enjoy what you're doing, but just
Thanks.
just keep doing what you're doing, and I'll try to share out your content a little bit more often.
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot. Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
yeah, no problem. I mean, yeah, like it might seem like your channel doesn't have a lot of recognition, but only thing I could say is I enjoy watching your videos when I can get around to 'em. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, I'll pay attention to your channel. I'll see you the next time you do a watch party, and I'll try to join up with you again because you seem like a pretty easygoing guy to talk to. So,
Yeah. You too,
all right,
man.
man. All right, take care and enjoy the rest of your week. And
Yeah,
have
you
a good night
too.
to everybody in the chat.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.
Bye.